you're not the
He might have knocked it in.
good time. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in, say,
Oh, God.
So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there.
Helmet.
He's punching me in the stomach, like steady punching me.
Here, and there's everyone sitting around. Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team
6 minutes.
for 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
Be on the Spirit plane had some issues. I think she was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to start the show. Why would I have that?
You had a circus or something.
6'3", I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad told you.
SEC is God, I hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they just
Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello, welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, July 22nd.
Thought about lying.
Lloyd, hey, I was going to give you a lot of props because we've been doing some work in here, and I thought we got something fixed.
We did. We're good.
We almost had it fixed.
We're good. Which
Oh,
one?
yeah? The bottom.
Oh, you want this? This old thing?
We got the ticker back.
Ticker
As
back.
long as it keeps the stream good, we're good.
That's right.
We appreciate the hard work. We finally got that back. Happy Monday. We got a lot talking about this week, a lot of sports happening. Football is starting to creep more and more onto your TV. You have camp starting. You know, the Chiefs hype is real. You have Mahomes throwing opposite side 60-yard bombs to Xavier Worthy for touchdowns. And, you know, they need to start talking about it and hyping it up. Don't forget, though, the Hall of Fame game, right, is like in, 2 weeks? It's like 2 weeks, just like the second week, usually like this first or second week in August. So you're going to have football on your TV screens here pretty soon.
August 1st.
August 1st. So a week.
A week?
1 week. 1 week you get the Hall of Fame game. So it's football is here. August is right around the corner, and we have we're very excited about it. We're going to talk a lot about it. We're also going to talk a lot about Major League Baseball. Nick Castellanos finally getting the credit that he deserves.
You can set your clock to it.
Yeah, you can almost, predict it.
I got the 1s and 2s switched up.
I just don't understand why you would do that.
Because we switched the cameras. And so now you're 2 and you're 1.
You like to try to catch me when I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're in the leadoff spot now. There it is.
I try to go behind the back. I try to go behind the back.
A gamble.
No ball security.
But Nick Castellanos, great player. He also has a knack for coming up with big home runs and not so exciting situations, if that makes sense.
He just likes to bring joy to people.
Yes, and a lot of times if you don't know what we're familiar with, go look it up on Twitter or YouTube or Google or whatever. And Nick Castellanos, in every big worldly event, he comes up with a home run the day of, right? He had, it started with a guy, he was an announcer for the Reds, I believe, who had I think a racial slur, something, and he got fired. I think it was a sexual, something weird.
Yeah, he said a word you probably is a little outdated.
Yeah.
And the
so
times.
he is basically announcing on air that he is,
I don't know if he'll ever put on this headset again.
And then he's trying to give his, basically his work
I'm a Christian
eulogy.
man.
And then as he's saying his most somber thing, Nick Castellanos hits a home run, I think a walk-off home run or something. It was a big home run. And so he's going, though he has to get excited. So it's an interesting phenomenon, and he did it again this past weekend.
That's what he does.
About a week ago. The day of the attempted assassination, right? He hits a home run. And then something recently just happened to kind of make this all, or there's a story written about him. Finally.
That's what he does, bro.
That's what he does.
It's the weirdest thing ever, but
his first home run ever in the history of his professional baseball career came on May 1st, 2011. Do you know what happened on that day? Lloyd?
Osama.
Bin Laden was killed.
Osama bin Laden.
Was dead.
Yeah.
Right, killed.
Big porn guy.
That's what I hear. But Nick Castellanos' first professional home run came on that day, which was the day Osama bin Laden died. So that should have been a foreshadowing for his
The
career.
ultimate man cave he had.
You want to keep going?
No, that's all I got right
That's
now.
all you got?
Yeah.
That's all you got? That's the only two you got off of Twitter?
Yeah, I think that's enough shots for
Yeah,
Osama.
I think so too. But it's a crazy thing. We're going to talk a little bit about that. The Olympics start on Friday. Opening ceremony is Friday. LeBron James got voted by all the Olympians. They all vote on who wants to carry the flag out for the opening ceremony. And LeBron James would be the first NBA basketball player ever to do it. So congratulations to him. That's a really cool honor. I think he said something really cool. He hopes this continues to bring unity and everybody kind of works together in the United States. So that'd be a good thing.
it's a very good time to start saying this because it is about to be election season.
No doubt.
We know where that goes. Anyway.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of shit happening.
Yeah, anyway.
In that realm of this world, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, and look, there's situations where it's the most united the Isles have been maybe ever. There's no debating on who was wrong in certain situations that's happening right now. If you don't know politics, go look it up. We're not talking about it, but yeah, election season, anything happens, crazy.
Somebody's got to win.
Somebody's got to win. Somebody has to. You would think. A lot of unprecedented news, but we push on. It is the opening ceremonies, which is also always a spectacle, always really cool in Paris. Should be really fun. LSU recruiting news has been pretty fun to keep up with. They landed a big 5-star last week. They just landed another big wide receiver who is apparently a monster. That receiver / tight end room is really, really big. You got the two tight ends, Trades Green and Pimpton, and now you bring this guy who's 6'6". Could field a pretty good basketball team with that lineup.
I like the all get off the bus squad. Those
No
usually
doubt.
do well when you get to talking about good teams. I like those.
No doubt.
I like those.
Number one state what?
And Shelton Sampson also.
And Sheldon Sampson,
Big
tall,
guy.
right?
I got fussed at in the morning show by one of the people in the chat saying, none of these guys have played it down. I was like, we're talking about recruiting. It's usually how it goes.
Yeah. When you get recruited to play here,
I don't think Derek Meadows is stepping on that field.
right.
So,
Yet.
Good potential.
So you're telling me you're still in your feelings from this morning because they're.
I'm flabbergasted how dumb sometimes people are. Like, just giving you content.
Lloyd's been thinking
Yeah.
about this all day right
All
now.
day.
Still
Now it's
on
your
his-
time.
That's the first time I thought about it.
It's your time.
I've been thinking about recruiting all day, if you want to go
Well, there
there.
you go. Right. We have a big
Some of these kids need to commit.
big recruit coming on campus.
I'm talking about my squad.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
Oh my
We'll get into that in a second. You haven't graduated to Heisman level yet, so
No.
you can't say anything.
I'm
I've
respect
been on
the
no level
game.
'cause I'm not watching it. It's very easy for me to critique from the outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna just tell you right now. If you're still gonna sit here and just play on All American, you can just get.
I would.
That's why you can't play online, huh?
Oh.
You get worked.
I haven't played online yet.
You seem like you'd be a great person to play online.
I did
You
try
seem
to
be very calm and you wouldn't be mean to people.
That would be a remote broken quickly. If you
That's actually what happened. I tried to play one game online. This guy was like cussing me out from the jump. Like we didn't pick teams yet.
Yeah, but it
and
just
he
feels
was,
like that you thrive in that.
And that's what I said. Like, bro, what are you so angry about? Game just came out. Like you should be excited. And he quit. He's like, I ain't playing with somebody like this. I was like, oh okay.
Oh wow.
That's a dub.
Wow. Does that count as a win when
I
he
think
quit?
so.
I don't know how that works. But,
Me either. But I was like, damn, man, it's hostile already.
all right. Well, we'll talk about your recruiting situation, how you approach your recruits on NCAA 2025.
Hard sell.
After we talk about the recruits coming in. Number one, we got a lot of number ones in the 2025 class. Number one safety in the country is all on campus for a second visit in 1 month. He was on an official visit earlier in the month. Now he's in an unofficial visit. He is an elite dual sport athlete. The other sport is baseball. He plays baseball and football, and he's an athletic safety who plays center field.
Man, it sounds like we had one of those.
Do we have? Has that? I don't know if that's ever
Happened before.
Oh, you did that.
Oh.
No, not me. I never played safety, but we did have
No,
one
but
of those.
but here's the deal. You didn't play safety, but you said, man, Nick Saban said I should have played cornerback. Was it Nick Saban? No, Les Miles.
That was Bo. That was Bo Pelini.
Oh, Bo Police said that. That's right.
Bo was just trying to steal one out the chest.
That's it. Bo was trying to get you on that side. Look,
he needed some more body.
here's the, you could have played safety. I know you weren't
need
safety,
one.
but
I
you
need
could have
one.
played safety. We actually did have one exactly like him.
We had one that profiled
Literally.
exactly like my guy. Right?
And it worked out.
Worked out well.
Technically, he got drafted in both leagues.
Worked out really well. If you really want to think about what he was able to do, yeah, it worked out well.
Yeah. So I think LSU is a great place for this kid to come in for a second visit. Seems like he thinks that too, because he's coming for the second time in 1 month. And look, Brian Kelly's proven, his staff has proven they're very good recruiters. The other sport that he plays, our head coach here has proven that he's continuing to prove that right now on how good of a recruiter he is. Everybody's talking about the team that he has coming in next year. He feels like, we feel like he could have potential title contender. A lot of new faces. That's going to be a challenge. How can you get the chemistry the same similar to it was this year? But a lot of talent. You have a lot of guys who, if they live up, and a lot of guys that come back that are going to really bolster that lineup. And so you have this kid coming in here. You just add him to that team. Like, that's pretty impressive. Did you almost drop it?
No.
No,
I
the
think I hit
little
the mic.
microphone.
Yeah.
Check 1 2 1 2.
I gave him a little mic check by accident.
But
Good hand eye.
you would imagine that the baseball side is just as enticing to him as the football side. You're not going to play two sports if you don't feel like you have a reasonable chance of performing at the next level in each one of the two sports.
And I'd say this too, the off the field capabilities or possibilities for someone like him in today's environment here, with what the I guess you would call it the LSU brand of sports has kind of grown to, it's got to be 1 to none. So I think that's something something that you have to be pitching to him if you are the ones trying to court him in this situation, because this would be a great place for him to come and do what he's doing.
Yeah. Agreed. The guy we're talking about is Jonah Williams. He is from where, Lloyd?
Galveston, Texas.
Galveston, Texas. So not far from Louisiana. I'm sure he, I saw a lot of LSU.
Beach
in his
country.
day. What was that?
Beach country.
That old dirty water.
That dirty ass water.
Old brown water.
Is that where Six Flags is?
Is it?
I think so. Should have followed that old man.
What are you talking about?
That dancing old man in the commercial?
I thought Six Flags was in San Antonio.
Maybe so. I don't know.
I have no idea where it's at. I've never been to Six Flags in Houston. But yeah, so LSU recruiting has been rolling. We're going to get into that a little bit. I'll keep dropping my phone. I'm just going to keep it in that spot.
Bro,
Fumble king up there.
Do you know about Find My iPhone at all?
I know about it.
about it?
I just didn't think about it whenever.
What do you mean, do I know about it?
This I was telling him, he's like, I can't find my laptop. I think I lost it. And I was like, well, put up, we'll find my iPhone. He's like, well, how?
No, that's not what you said. You said, why don't you ping it? And I didn't associate ping with Find My iPhone. I know what Find My iPhone is.
We got there.
We got
It's
that.
at his house.
Okay. Yeah, I know what it is, though.
Okay. Because we had baby steps. We got there.
I know what Find My iPhone is, okay?
We need to.
I didn't know what you were, when you said ping, I was like, I don't have anything to ping it with. And I forgot you could ping it through Find My. Now that's what I didn't,
It's like you don't lose anything ever because
don't.
I live on Find My iPhone.
I don't, well,
I mean, I don't know how you live on that thing, but you know.
I mean,
that's a different
if
conversation.
like wallets or something would be different. You put like a tag in there and like that's a different thing. But
Still in my
I don't ever lose my phone. So I have to like, man, where did I put this? Let me go find my iPhone and ping my cell phone.
Yep.
My laptop, I usually know where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
If you misplace the laptop, except for that last time.
It is a very good feature though, because literally I was just coming back from Cabo and I had AirPods in my pocket when I was sitting down at the gate, got up, got on the plane, and reached in my pocket to put them in before the flight took off, and I'm like, oh my God.
See, that's great for it.
My
That's
AirPods are gone. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I was like, all right, let me ask the flight attendant, can I go get them? Because I was like, they got to be right there. She's like, sir, we can't let you off the plane. I'm like, all right, let me use the app, find my there it is. Of course, they were able to bring him back on. So
Wow.
Oh,
shout out to them.
Wow.
That was show. That was
That's
a show
big.
Move. Found him on the ground. Show move, brought him back to me.
Great positive energy for
You don't get a lot of
airlines.
those.
Not very much of that going on right now.
But this was right after too. It was like the checks and balances. I got to be honest. This was right after I put my carry-on in the little carry-on thing that
Up,
shows
and they
that
made you check it.
and they made me check. it.
Yep. They do
Saying that it doesn't fit, and it fit all the way in, and they were
Uh-huh.
like, no, you got to check it. It's too big. I'm like,
Did you
it's
push
fitting
back?
it. Oh yeah, I pushed back.
Yeah,
You
me
want to know
too.
the best part about it too? But this was all before I figured out that I had lost these. So I get on the plane. I'm walking down the aisle, and I see. I'm not kidding you. The exact same bag that I have, someone else has the exact same bag in the overhead on the thing. I'm like, wow,
Damn.
this is a great day right here.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it was not. It was not good.
There's no rhyme or reason. They just, oh, we're getting tired of it. We don't have too many bags, so we're just going to start checking. Like, you might as well just not have a carry-on now. So, bullshit, because they're not – listen, airlines aren't – I don't know if there's been an industry. I'm sure there has been, and this is probably a little bit exaggerated, but there's not very many industries that have taken the hit airlines have since COVID.
Yeah.
Like, COVID happened, nobody was flying, so airlines got crushed. And they lost all this stuff, and they still haven't recovered. I mean, people were flying, this is happening. Now, this wasn't their fault. It's just added to
Yeah.
the
Damn.
litany, and then you had the Microsoft whatever internet shutdown, and
that's
then they
part of it.
couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't fly. Like they
So, I
shut
mean,
down the
that's what
airports.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
So it's just the hits keep coming. But you got to get in the air.
got,
No other.
Isn't that kind of scary, though? Internet went down, like couldn't barely function.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't affect anything that had to do, which
Well, that's everyone except for
Unfortunate.
Southwest though. They didn't get.
yeah, why is that?
They said Southwest doesn't even like have
Internet
technology.
You don't need it.
They put the seating on a napkin.
They didn't have the
write
correct
it down
version
for
of
you.
Microsoft, right? Is that what
They
it
didn't
was?
update yet.
Didn't update it for like 19 for however long
They
ago.
said the pilots, the Southwest pilots uses Waze.
Google Maps.
It's on
has been great.
MapQuest.
If Google Maps have been great. They take actually like aerial views for them. You know, it's a different app.
Just look for landmarks.
Yeah, this cloud's right here. You're going the right direction. Yeah, airlines have struggled, but hopefully they get it right. Hopefully, get it right before this weekend. So because I'm going to Dallas. Speaking of the weekends, how was your weekend, Lloyd?
Great weekend. What'd
you do?
Low key. Came here. We all pitched
Saturday.
in. Got some work done.
Yep.
Went to Click here. Got some work there.
Oh, yeah,
Working
it was
weekend.
You grinded on Saturday.
Yeah. Feels good though coming into a Monday. Got the workout in. F45. Shout out.
Nice.
It's hard
There you go.
today.
I don't mean no good anymore.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're stabled up. Jared goes.
Jared
McGee
goes.
goes sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
but I get in there.
But good start. Good start for a Monday.
But you
Okay.
said today was hard. You thought today was hard?
Yeah, I did. I'm just out of shape. Fat.
What's
So,
the worst? The F45s are the Mondays when football season's here.
Yeah, those don't
Those
go.
Mondays, Mondays are tough.
Yeah, those hit you hard.
Yeah.
I don't
How
have
was your
the-
weekend?
mental
Good, it was
strength.
chill. I just chill.
Chill's good.
Yeah. Watch the rain. Bro, this rain is ridiculous right now.
Yeah, I'm over the rain.
It's like every day. Yo.
Every
It's-
day. I'm
there's
over
a lot
the rain.
going on right now.
I'm over my grass is really long. Can't cut it. It's wet.
Can't play golf
I haven't tried to do that since it's been raining.
unless you're in the open.
Which is also happened this weekend. British Open. Xander. Congratulations. Two majors this year. When is he gonna win?
Big.
A major can't do it in the big
mhm.
game, big tournaments. He's won 2 this year. Real argument for Player of the Year. Even though-
Good Scotty
Even though Scotty has done what he's done, I mean, he's won basically everything else.
2-1,
2-1.
and all 4 majors taken by Americans. Ryder Cup captain
Yep.
announced. So it's
What's
all
the next
coming
big
home.
one? FedEx.
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's the next big like.
That's just the big payday.
I know, but like, what's the next big tournament? Do they
That's
have
it.
another-
We're
That's
done.
it.
That was the last major.
Yeah, I know, but like, there's other tournaments that like are big, but like
The
not-
one to circle your calendar for
is
would
the
probably be the
FedEx.
FedEx Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like a $30 million payday if you win it.
That sounds like a good day.
Something crazy like that. I mean, it's going up and up every year. So that happened. I didn't get to play golf this weekend. I was disappointed.
Why
Always.
are you playing the golf?
You know who's not playing golf anymore?
Who?
Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner, because camp started, so he said goodbye. I did not realize that the development of his swing happened in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't seen him play on the course.
He says it doesn't translate well.
He said that?
Yeah.
Okay, so like
Still a hard game.
the swing looks fine. I just haven't seen him play on the course. Like there's a lot more that goes into golf other than a good swing. Like there's a lot of things that have to go right for you to be good at golf. So like I'm
But I
not
feel
saying he's good. I'm just saying his swing's better, and like that's obviously the first step of him being good. But he did it in less than a month, which is pretty good.
I feel like a lot of people look decent or get better or it looks better when you're on flat surface, clear everything, and you're cleaning it up, and then
100%.
you actually get out there on the course and it's
Oh, I'm sitting on an uphill lie with a tree in my face, and I have to hit a draw around it, but I don't really know how to hit a draw.
Course maintenance.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that part.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's a work in progress. I'm better now.
But
than
I will
was
say this:
before.
the swing did look good, though.
Swing look good.
Swing did look good.
All right, let's get to a little bit of LSU. We talked about Jay Johnson's recruiting class. Baseball is he's starting to finally feel like it is slowing down a touch, as far as like the news that's going to come out here, because draft's over. Most of the people have already signed, and he's got all the guys that he's going to get for this year. So this seems like it's kind of the final roster. Feels like he kind of revamped the roster. It looks a little bit different than it did last year, but feels like it's just as talented, if not more talented than it was last year. Do you agree?
Yeah, I like this roster a lot. Man, when you look at it, thinking of where this team was at the end of the season last year, or this a couple months ago, and you're like, all right, well, we know for sure these guys are gone, and you're probably gonna lose these guys. How are you gonna replace this? To say you got back what you got back, and then you were able to bring in the guys you brought in for the portal, and you got the incoming freshmen you got to come into this class. I like this team a lot.
You're bringing
and a lot
27
better,
new guys.
a lot better than I thought this team was going to look going into next year. I thought that this team was going to have to really be, all right, I don't know where you're going to get it out of the portal when it comes to pop, because it's hard to sit here and say we're going to, in the SEC, trust a freshman to be the middle of the lineup bat that's got the pop. That's hard to do in this league.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I don't know where you're going to get it at. You were able to find guys, but you were also able, when you're able to retain Jared Jones, that is 20-plus sitting in the middle of the lineup. Now you surround him with some guys. Then you get a top-of-the-order type of guy that you got out of Utah State. Then you were able to keep all of the infield together, and you got some returners in the outfield, and you got some new people you added in the outfield. And it's just I'm surprised that you were able to they were able to put together the roster they put together, because it was, at one point you look at it, you're like, how you gonna do this?
Right.
Where is it gonna come from?
Well, let me ask you this. So, I think the number is 40 that you can have on your roster. I'm pretty sure. With the incoming freshmen, the transfers, and the returners, there's 41 guys on this roster right now. So, I don't know if there's someone like if you red shirts, like you redshirt a guy or whatever they're gonna do, but 41 roster spots on this team right now, which they're gonna have to get down to 40 before. I thought it was gonna be more than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I didn't know the exact number, but 41's actually not. It's pretty doable.
Yeah. So basically, you only got to get rid of one.
Yeah, red shirt. I don't know if that counts. I'm not sure how it really.
I'm not going to ask you who, because I don't think we should sit here
No,
and go who.
no.
But if you had to guess, if you had to guess in the sense of sophomore or younger or junior or older, who is the one that goes when it comes that time of the year? I'm not asking.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
talking
asking
about
you
what
who
age group?
Yeah, what age group? I'm not going to ask you who. I don't care.
I think
about
it's gonna
who.
be younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lloyd?
I think it'll probably be one of the JUCO guys that you brought in. like that. And that, so is that younger, older? I don't know. Like, I don't know where that falls on the spectrum
Well, if
of.
they're JUCO means they're probably coming in as a.
Right.
See, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm with him on this one. I think in a sense of when I need, like when you talk about that lineup that they had last year and all you're really going to have back when it comes to like true experience in this league, And so I don't really mean Jake Brown. Like he has to come along even more to be true experience. You got Stanfield coming in. You got the 3 infield players you got. And that's pretty much it when it comes to who's got – and Pierce. So you got 4 or 5 guys. I'm thinking if you're going to put guys who have a lot of at-bats in college, I'm not looking to get rid of the JUCO guys in those situations. So, like, I don't think those guys are going anywhere. I think, and if anything, it's a younger guy who sees I'm not going to play this year. I might not play next year, so I might need to go somewhere else so I can get on the field a little bit early. That's what I think. I don't think it's going to be one of the older guys.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to winning in this league, bro, it's really hard to win with young guys. So if I want to look at my team as a coach and I'm looking at how am I going, I'm probably betting on experienced guys more than I am on younger guys. If I don't know you're going to step in right now and be an impact guy as a younger guy, it's hard for me to say I want to keep you over the other guy, even though you could maybe possibly be a program builder, but when are we looking at you to get on the field, you know?
Yeah.
That's what.
And that makes a lot of sense, like, because of the way that even before the announcement of Bear coming back and you get William Schmidt, like, even before those that it really – and Cade Aaron Beatty, like, the guys that you got to pop late where you're like, okay, these are guys that you didn't really expect to get. And it felt like that's the way that they were building the team by going to get guys from the transfer portal, whether it be JUCO or other smaller programs. So I can see what you're saying. Like, I see the point that they brought them in for the experience because it felt like last year that you were kind of grabbing for straws at some point. So you want guys that have been there before that you can kind of trust in the lineup day in and day out. I do think that he's found himself in a bit of a precarious spot in the same way that it was last year with got a lot of people to pick from.
Well, you got a lot of people to pick from, but I think it's at like a very few spots. Like Jared Jones is going to play first base for the most part. He's going to log, if I had to guess, probably the most games at first base.
You know what your infield combination is.
Right. Well, you don't because I guess you do because you do know Braswell's back, Milam's back, and you brought Utah State. So he's got to play. So somewhere along there they're playing. Yeah. So where am I going to play catcher, left or right? That's pretty much the 3 spots of, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 dudes you got right there.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes, it's not a lot of spots, but there's a lot of people for a very few amount of spots.
Yeah.
And then now it's
similar like it was this year, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? They probably had 3 or 4 spots they rotated out regularly. Most of the outfield spots. The catcher spot a little bit, I guess. You know, so similar.
I wouldn't say it was similar. Like, think about it. If we go to first base to start the year,
I guess you didn't know early in the season.
You were hoping.
Was gonna be.
You were hoping, like, hey, if he figures out how to control the strike zone more, if he stops chasing breaking balls, we know for sure this bat's gonna play. But we've also never seen him play first in the. So we didn't know. You didn't know first base, right? You didn't know Stephen Milam.
Yeah, I think that was the more one.
You knew Braswell could be better for you. You knew he would play a good shortstop, but you were hoping he would hit. So you still didn't know there. So that's 3 right there. I can say we didn't know.
No,
so
you're right.
I don't think it wasn't like that last year.
No, you're right. You're right. I was just talking about how the season ended. When the season ended, that's what it was, right? You had 6 guys that you knew, and then the other 3 positions were kind of going in and out.
But that's how it. If you think about it,
that's how it's starting this year.
2023 or 2022 or 23. That team, you knew there was
right. That's what I mean.
And I think that's like what good teams have is like shit comes to push. Like, I know these guys are out there and they're probably going to be in these spots in the lineup, and we know that. So we know that that's our role, and the team knows that that's their role, and you just roll. Yeah. I think those are the teams that usually end up getting better and become where they need to be by the end of the year because it's just. Roles are defined, dude. Like, people know what's expected.
So you think that he's gonna do that, make that change earlier this year than he did last year? Like, you think this is what he learned from that? Like, hey, I need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, and we've never asked him that question, dude. But I do think that if I'm a betting man, if I had to guess in getting to know him the way we've kind of gotten to know him, that's something that he probably saw over last year. Is man, I had a lot of dudes and I had a lot of talent, and it was really hard for me to figure out who's going to get it done when it comes clutch time. And the quicker that I, as a coach, can get to figuring out who that is, the better my team will probably be. Because I can, at that point, I can hand it over to them, and that team can now have ownership to what they do, because we all know that's the best teams.
Yeah.
The best teams are where the players take ownership, and they are the ones kind of policing themselves, if you will, and kind of running and understanding that this is our team in respects to how this coach wants to run the squad.
Right. No, 100%. So he's in a good spot, to say the least. Right?
100%.
The
You would
talent's
rather have
there.
the talent than not have the talent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that'll probably be one of the last few times that we're going to be talking baseball for a minute, because this is kind of slows down a second, and then football obviously is starting to heat up. First football game is being kicked off a week away. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of the guys that were drafted, and
Bucks.
guys trying to make teams, which doesn't matter who's playing. It's just very entertaining that football's back on TV. And then you got the Olympics. That's what's going to take us home to football season.
What are we, 4 days away from opening ceremonies?
Friday's opening ceremonies. Do y'all like watching the opening ceremonies?
Oh yeah.
I do too.
But I feel like that's where you get a little bit. I mean, the one I think of
You get
the
very
most,
prideful a little bit. Damn, this is
the
pretty
anthem.
cool.
I feel like that's part of, obviously, that's probably like half the experience of being there. It's like walking out with your country and the flag and all
I've
of that.
never played I've never played in the Olympics.
Played for Team USA.
I played Team USA, and not the same level as far as importance,
Yeah.
right? But you still had the national anthem saying your national anthem saying in a different country, like you're playing against that country. Pretty freaking cool to have that. I can't imagine being at the Olympic stage and the whole world is watching you and you're competing in every sport imaginable.
Yeah, so you play for Team USA, and obviously you're playing against other countries, but I do think it's a different level
100%.
of a team leaving U.S. soil, going to a foreign country, playing your anthem, and you're playing on what is internationally known as basically the international games of the Olympics, right? That's a different feeling. That's got to be a very prideful feeling. That's just got to be something that's so cool that you're just
Yeah.
man, I did that. And now I see why a lot of these people that do, they all get a tattoo, because it's right. You're one-on-one.
There's not many people I know, personally, that have a gold medal.
Yeah.
In the Olympics. It's pretty
Rarefied
cool thing.
air.
If you get that, that's, and so.
Not just that. Think about how many people you can literally say, hey, I know this person. It'd be hard to name 5 people that are close friends that maybe you have a phone number of that are Olympians.
Right.
That's hard.
Right. And then baseball got taken out for a minute. And that's back in there, which is great. So the baseball guys are going to have a little bit more of an opportunity to go out there.
Yeah.
You have, it's a shame that the Olympics aren't as important here as it is in other countries. Sweden and those countries, that is their, they praise the Olympians, right? They get compensated for being some of the elite athletes. You don't get anything here for winning a gold medal.
Yeah.
Barely any money. It's one of the lower prize, the cost of prizes or whatever that in the country, in the world. And so I wish they would do that, but I think you're starting to slowly see a little bit more of that, and I love watching it. Soccer's electric. Swimming's electric. What else do you like to watch?
I love watching the 100. I love watching
track.
Track is electric.
I love watching the 200. I love watching the 400. It was all super electric.
And it's also, even if you don't know what's going on, for some of the sports that you've never really seen played before, it's just great to have it on the background, and you're like, oh, I just want to see competition a little bit. You don't have to be, there's obviously games or matches or events that you circle where you're like, I'm locked into this.
Yeah, and they put those on, primetime here, or they at least let you know when they're going to be played here.
You know what I love? What else I love about the Olympics is, the crazy sports that they start adding. Every year don't they have, a trial sport? They put a couple sports in there, not full Olympic sports, but, they're trying to see.
Test the waters.
Yeah. And so, you see all these different sports. Obviously, you have 3-on-3 basketball. Golf is relatively new. there's another sport that they just like created for the Olympics. I don't remember what it was, but like that kind of stuff. I like watching that because like it's stuff you'll never see, but it's like I'm surprised dodgeball's not in the Olympics.
The real question is, I know they said it's supposed to be, but will flag football make it to the 2028?
I think that's the date circled. It's 2028.
So
Yeah.
will it actually make
And
it
that's
there?
the other thing is Mahomes has been very vocal, and Tyreek Hill, both have been very vocal about I want to play on that team.
I think a lot of players will want to
Like
play on that team.
how the Olympics don't want to bring football in it. Like that's all. I mean,
That'd be cool.
I'm saying it to be awesome, but like that.
They don't want to do real football, even though they do probably feel like they have a little bit of an
Well,
opportunity.
our
but-
USFL, whatever the hell that team is not great.
No, but if you bring
That
them-
can't be the squad that's going to go out there for that one. I can just tell you that right now.
No.
No, but that's why
But flag football, I mean, nobody would ever be able to, like, you're going to bring flag football in there, and it's going to be tough to compete against the NFL guys. Now, some of the NFL guys probably have, they'll play for, like, their country. Like, even though if they're from here, you may have some heritage, from,
Australia.
Australia or wherever, right? And so you may not make the USA team, but you're going to go. That's what happens in baseball, right? Like, you're American, but you're, born of Canadian descent. Or Canadian descent.
I think you would have a
born
lot
in Canada.
Yeah, I think you would have a lot of the NFL guys that would be down to do it, just in the sense of like it's no contact to low contact, pretty much, and you're getting a chance to do something where you represent the the country where you hail from. I think a lot of guys would, because think about it, if you play the game, there's only what are you going to take? 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks? Coach, there's 30 of them, 32 of them in the league. Like, and I'm sure some other ones have some different heritage that would love to be a part
No
of
doubt.
something like that.
No
So I
doubt.
think you would get a lot of guys that would be, I do this.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
And it's probably going to be a lot like whatever the Dream Team was founded. Like you're allowing professional athletes to compete when it used to just be college kids, and it's like we'll show up for the first one for sure. Like, we'll show you how what Americans going to flex their muscle a little bit and be like, this is how we play basketball here because they were tired of losing, and it's like we're going to bring Michael Jordan.
Basketball team's been struggling.
I mean, I wouldn't say struggling.
They've been, not struggling, but like they've been.
It's been closer than people thought.
Closer than the experts expected.
Yes, closer than the experts think. But I think once it gets into like actual
South Sudan, 47.5-point dogs.
they got a Duke commit.
47.5-point dogs. They almost pulled it off.
Had to have LeBron.
Cool story though. Awesome story. Luol Deng, the head of they're obviously not a very rich country.
They don't have, I think I heard this maybe this morning.
don't
or
have
yesterday.
that,
They don't have any indoor courts.
No
in
indoor
South Sudan.
courts there.
Oh, we should play a home and
So
home.
like they are.
I think they in the elements, bro. They got advantage right there.
No doubt.
They used to playing outside in that
No
heat,
doubt.
cuz.
Like they are, they have been trained to get to this. Luol Deng has been very vocal in trying to get South Sudan, and they go out there and like put out a good performance. And I think that's pretty awesome.
I will say this though. You know what's crazy? I can remember this. I think it was the last time the NBA has an event that they were having in the hotel. So, and this was in like 2016 maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say there's the history of like the NBA in Africa when it comes to basketball, but they didn't pick it up 5 years ago and say, hey, I think we should start trying to play organized basketball.
No doubt.
It's been going. So
No doubt.
respect them in that sense, but yeah, they played them well.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think a lot of like pundits and a lot of people want the NBA team to just literally go out there and just dominate everybody.
Yeah.
Like old times. And the truth of the matter is like
Basketball's gotten better around the world.
bro, everywhere. I think now 2000 on in every sport, all of these sports have tried so hard to have ambassadors and grow their
Right.
game in different countries
Globally.
around the world
Yeah.
globally. So these different countries are picking it up. Yes, other people are starting to catch on and want to kind of play the games as well. So I'm not sitting here saying that the U.S., I think, shouldn't still be beating everyone in basketball. Yes, I do. But, bro, look around the NBA
But the
right now.
international competition in
The international
basketball is
competition is
significantly
coming.
greater now
They're coming.
than it was.
They're coming. And look at
look
a
at
lot of the
France.
stars in the league right now.
France has 3 of the top 5 picks in the draft the last 2 years. Like,
There is some if you go look at the top 25 players probably in the league right now, I think you'd be surprised at how many of them are not American-born players.
right,
Like there's some good players out there.
right.
So I just think you got to look at that a little bit of a vacuum, and you can sit here and say, oh, but it was South Sudan. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. There's some good players there.
Yep.
It's America's fault. We made the game global.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I
you
know.
It's a great thing. And so, but yeah, look, they're winning. They're not losing, and I think they'll be just fine when the Olympics start.
Pool play.
Yeah, pool play. How long do the Olympics go? Is it a full month?
That's a very good question. I think it's around something like that. It's got a little hair to it. What you got on
Like,
it?
it can't go into football season.
It's multi-sport events take place from the 26th of July to the August 11th.
Yep. So 3 weeks. No, about 3 weeks.
They'll get you to football. Football overlap a little bit.
Yeah, but
Hall of Fame
preseason.
game. Yeah.
Preseason.
Which
Yeah.
they're trying to get rid of. And they put our guy Joe Burrow in a pickle on Pardon My Take by asking about the
Dude, Pardon My Take's been fucking rolling right now.
Yeah, that's what happens.
This is their moment though, because it's a fun podcast. It's not football experts. So
it's kicking it with the boys.
yeah. So it's all about jokes, and they talk about nonsense all year. So it's like this is their prime. They just get interviews, not talking about football, but talking. Yeah, they're good.
Well, this is what happens when you travel to Lake Tahoe and every celebrity or every athlete
That also
ever
helps.
is at the golf tournament. They're like, well, you don't play golf all day. They get a little boozed up. Like, you want to sit down and
Pluck 'em
shoot
up.
the shit?
Come
Come on,
on.
Rogers, come on. He was in a great mood.
Yeah.
And he's always seems to be pretty ornery with the media if it's not McAfee or Pardon My Take. And so it was nice to see him not being I love it, but the witch hunt guy where he was pretty much just talking ball. They asked him about his Jets career so far. It's like, pregame was awesome, probably the best pregame of my life. And he was not supposed to run out with the flag. Like, they didn't give him one.
Oh, wow.
And he looked around, and he's like, everybody's got a flag. And he's like, give me that big one. And just took it and took off.
Wow.
So an iconic moment.
Crazy moment.
And then 4 plays later, toast.
Give me the story. What happened?
That's not like that sucked for the football world.
I remember
That was,
where
that
we
was
were.
tough to watch, bro.
Yeah,
I was like,
we just ended the show,
Yeah.
and we were like, all staring at the TV like, look at this is unbelievable. And then first drive,
That's
4
right,
plays
we
in,
were
and
watching
we're like,
together.
I was like, he's done. They're like, oh no. It's like, yeah, watch this thing pluck like a guitar string. It's like, damn, that
He
sucks.
still have vibrations in his calf.
Yeah, it
What were you about
was.
to ask?
well, yeah, his ADD didn't allow him to kind of stay on task right there. But I was going to ask, what were you saying about?
Oh, the flag?
No, you see what I'm saying about Joe?
Oh, the 18-game season. They asked him like, what would be a?
Oh yeah.
I forgot I even said
yeah,
it.
me too.
But the 18-game season, they're asking like, what's the perfect setup for the NFL if they go to 18? He's like, I wouldn't mind going to 18, and this is what the NFL wants to be put out there because they're dying to add another game, and eventually, I'd imagine they're trying to get to 20. But at
There's
8,
so many football.
yeah,
games.
but he's like, eliminate the preseason and give us an extra bye week, and during that first, and then have like a kind of like the NBA All-Star break where you do all the competitions and stuff in the middle of the year, like people get to relax a little bit. You still have content, and then let us go back out there. But he wants to add another bye week for another game, and they're like, that's exactly what the NFL wants to hear, but probably not what the NFLPA wants out there. And you have one of your stars, like, yeah, we could play 18, but that's Joe Burrow because he just wants to play football.
What do you think about?
Play 18 games.
Yeah.
I love the fact that player health has just gotten thrown out the window. We gave up on that a long time ago. Like, more football. Like, you have all of the
Yeah, I
health
guess
stuff that
it's
it was
hard.
like, how are they even playing 16? They moved it to 17. No
Yeah.
real pushback. Like, oh, let's go to 18.
I would like 18 games, but I understand why they want to get rid of. This is players talking. I've never played there, so I don't know. But I get wanting to get rid of preseason. But like, don't you think the first 4 weeks of the actual regular
Would be
season, if they do that,
ass.
would not be good? And like,
It's already like that.
Right.
now. Like,
right. So like, you add more games, but like your preseason now is your first 4 games of the season. When, it's just.
I think it'll.
Quality versus quantity.
Yeah. I think it'll water down more the beginning of the season, right? Which it's not necessarily the highest level of ball played, and then 2, where my first start really went was, well, what's the compensation for that?
That's what I was going to say too.
Are you staying in the same contracts? Do you get more revenue share? Do you get more of a pie of the revenue share? Like, if we're gonna play more games, there got to be more compensation for that. Not, hey, we just extend your contracts over this amount of time now, because the players would lose on that sense,
Yeah.
right? Because if you get to, and none of that can happen until you get to the end of whatever the current CBA is. But when you get to the end of the current CBA and you say, hey, let's add an 18th game, there is a lot of the league that's still under contract. right? So then if that at that point and you say, okay, we'll put the 18th game in there,
But you gotta up.
I'm not getting paid for 18. Like, so what we doing here? So I think there's
more game check.
Yeah, like I think there's a whole bunch of
Then you have to
logistics
think,
you'd have to put together.
Then you have to
do
think
that.
with an 18 game schedule. Are you going to increase the roster size? Because like now the longevity of the season, you're probably going to have more wear and tear. So like you should be able to carry more players.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Are you gonna set up retirement stuff for him as
Yeah.
well? Because you're asking him to play one more real game. That's a lot. Like I think of somebody like Justin Jefferson right now. You just signed for like $30 million a year. You get to the CBA. They say let's put 18 in. Now that $30 million or whatever it is exactly that he's making over 17 games. So now I'm making less money than I was before.
Right.
Nah, I'm good. We're
Right.
not doing that. Where's my compensation in that? Well, you already inked. So you know what I mean? Like there's just. It sounds good, but like I don't really know about that.
It sounds good for the fan, for the player. I would imagine it's not the. I mean, if you've been watching Receiver on like Netflix, I mean, every player in the show is hurt. Like throughout, you get to like week 4, and they're all like Amon-Ra St. Brown's dealing with something. Justin Jefferson obviously gets knocked out for a good part of the year, and then even Greg Olsen gets knocked out, and it's just Deebo Samuel, Greg Olsen, Greg Kittle.
George Kittle.
George Kittle. Kittle.
I've always said, dude, like y'all know me, like I'm an advocate for player side of pretty much
Yeah, of course.
everything, right? I do think if it ever came to a day where football contracts were like across the league fully guaranteed, you can go ahead and count that as like the beginning of the end of what we know as like football. Because I just don't think, bro, you put that situation like that, and there would be so many guys, like you said. Go watch the Netflix special with Receiver and see how hurt some of these dudes are when they're playing. You think they're going out there like that if their money's already guaranteed? Just being straight up honest about it. Hell no.
Right.
I think so. Like when it comes to that, like I just.
That's a good point.
And I was listening to Pereira talk about the same thing. And he's talking about with the new contracts for television rights and all the things that are coming in. Like players are going to start asking for a portion of those like media rights. They get 51% of the commercial deals. Like of the like ad money, but they would start wanting like whatever, like start looking for equity in the franchise if it's going to be like however the contracts are structured. That's what players are going to start going after because you're making billions, literally,
Right.
and I'm doing the work on the field. That's what the conversation always turns into. And then you saw Caleb Williams try to essentially do that and skirt taxes by forming his own LLC and try to get paid that way. Like they're looking for creative ways to get paid and make sure that they don't get hit with taxes. So. Like if you even saw, who was it that went to, it was Klay Thompson, NBA, but he went to Texas because there's no state tax.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, if it was all things created equal, he probably would have gone to the Lakers if it wasn't, you're going to take half my salary.
Right. That's in every sport, right? Free agency in every sport. You gotta
Right.
yeah.
But I'm just saying they're looking for ways to skirt. Obviously, like the players are looking for
Of
ways
course, always.
to make more money. It's like
Always.
look at the revenue that's coming in. Even for basketball, TNT just matched the rights deal for, I would assume, the NBA.
Well,
to
that's
get
why
their product
their
back.
salaries are so high.
Yeah.
Because there's a salary max, salary min. They get a percentage of like the salary cap goes up, and so they got to pay a certain amount. So I mean, in like 3 years, 4 years, the super max deal is going to be like $95 million a year.
Yeah.
In the NBA.
And I think people, that's a good point. We're kind of bringing this up because I think a lot of people don't really understand that. Like, obviously, you're taxed in every state that you play in, right? You earn wages in all those states, but wherever your home state is, you obviously are going to be taxed more. So if I'm making $30 million in Texas or if I'm making $30 million in California, them $30 million I don't receive the same thing at the end of the day.
Right.
I mean, and at the end of the day, for some people, that does matter. So
I'll never forget. I mean, this is not millions, but like my rookie year, I had gotten hurt and I stayed in Tampa and we went on a 10-game road trip to the West Coast to California.
Oh,
And I didn't travel with them, and so my check was bigger than the normal rookie's check because all those guys traveled and they had their taxes taken out from California. It was the first time I'd ever experienced it, where I was like, damn, because like when you're playing, like you don't really, they're taking out, you just don't really pay attention to it as closely, and then you stop and you don't travel, and you're like, damn, that's a significant difference in just one check. Imagine doing that all year, right? Imagine having 80 in baseball, 81 games there a year. That's just at home. That's not just other teams in California. So you're probably paying 100 games in California out of the 162. Like, you lose a lot of money. It's wild.
It's wild.
It's a lot.
It makes sense though. You
Yeah.
know, it's just ridiculous. So, how did we even get on that topic?
Talking about the games. Amount of
Olympics.
games played.
Wow.
The Wheaties.
Speaking of Wheaties, you saw the Kelsey brothers have their own cereal.
What's it called? Kelseos?
It's something.
Special K?
But it's like 4 cereals mixed in one.
Oh.
It's like Cheerios,
Chris, let me ask you a serious
Reese
question.
Puffs.
When was the last time you ate cereal?
Well, my wife's a child,
Literally?
and so no, that's okay. She brought in. She loves cereal, but like she likes cereal dry, so she brings
milk.
in no milk. So she eats out the box,
Like a sack.
but it's like it's the one with the marshmallows,
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
Does she like eat it as snacks, or does she like it as like a?
No snacks. She
put it in a
Lucky
bowl?
Charms. She's a big Lucky Charm. She'll get the Lucky Charms and eat
Do
them
you
out.
eat them too?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why I hate when she does it. But so you
Big
said
old
last
hand
time,
in there.
last
Where
time
are the
we ate
marshmallows?
cereal, I've never like in a bowl. Can't tell you last time. But a lot of
delectable.
people still do it. It's 4 cereals mixed. I think it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch is one of them. Like it's
Ooh, cinnamon
That's
Toast
all.
Crunch
It's
is
the all-star lineup.
sugar high.
smacking
It was-
back then,
yeah.
boy.
Yeah, but
That
it looks
shit
like
Hey,
Trav has been
that
doing
shit
a lot
be-
of
that
That
taste
cinnamon
testing.
toast crunch. Boy, I couldn't wait to drink the bowl out.
Yeah.
that shit used to fucking make my stomach hurt.
Yeah,
I
worth
used to-
it.
I used to be smacking
All
that
sugar.
shit.
All sugar.
Milk used to be brown.
Yeah. Put a little extra sugar in there.
Couldn't wait. Oh my god, that shit was good.
Have y'all been keeping up with like
LSU
the
football.
NFL? Well, LSU football too. Actually, let's go to that. We talked about recruiting earlier on, right? Guys coming in.
Bayou Splash. We'll get to the
Bayou
list of
Splash is
names.
coming here soon.
But
yeah,
I
who's
guess- Oh, we can get there.
No, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say just more timely. It's not the best news in the world.
Well,
but
that's and I was trying to figure out if I was gonna talk about
I
it.
think you have to bring it up.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
think you gotta,
topical.
yeah,
it's
that's
hitting
not
home.
what we can
Be
skirt
like-
around there.
Yeah, I mean, was it
Toviano,
Javian
Javian Toviano
started the last 4 games for LSU. Was probably
was one of the
circled
bigger recruits in the secondary, and he was arrested.
Turned himself in.
Turned himself in on voyeur charges.
Video
Voyeurism.
voyeur, apparently.
Yeah. So, you can go read about it. About that, it's just not great situation. Hopefully they get it worked out. Figure out the next move for him, and hopefully he can get it settled.
Get it right.
Yeah, get it right. But that's a tough break on a cornerback position, which isn't as light as it was last year, but still a position of
It has a question mark next to
yes.
it. Depth
Maybe
is
not
there.
as big of one as it was last year, but like still a question mark. A lot of guys that have been in college but hadn't played a ton of snaps, or that have been injured or coming off injury. So, everybody counts in that
Will you
room.
will you see him in purple and gold ever again?
You have to let these things play out.
Yeah. So look, there
because
could
I
be-
mean, you could have proverbially jumped the gun on Trey Holly, and it seems like he's going to be reinstated.
He's coming back, right?
And so you kind of let the legal system play itself out. But at the moment, not the best case that you want to take
Right.
on at the moment.
right.
I would imagine. I hope it wasn't his team iPad.
What's that? Oh, I mean, I don't.
I don't know.
That'd be a tough move if you did that.
I mean, there is the cloud. I don't really think that matters. But yeah, that's a very unfortunate situation. I think there's a lot to learn from something like that.
Mhm.
You know,
Just future set himself back a little bit because he was going to be a significant player for LSU. Because when you look at the roster, you have 2 players that have taken snaps in the defensive
you
back
go.
room last year. And so
So Alexander,
it's Alexander's coming off an ACL.
right?
And freshman Ashton Stamps last year, now returning as a sophomore, didn't play a ton, but was out there.
Towards the end, he played a lot.
Yeah, they started to figure out, and that was probably more of the coaching room where you were scratching your head, like, if these guys can't do it, just put somebody, like, try a freshman out.
Well,
here's what I will
Yep.
say. Here's what I will say when it comes to the amount of guys or lack of experience that they do have in that room right now. When you don't have the same secondary coach and you're not in the same defensive system, there's a little bit of that really kind of negates that a little bit if you want. So they're all coming in with new people. They might actually take to a system or something in this situation a little bit better. But I still err on the side of you need some experience to kind of get out there and understand what's going on. I just don't think it's that big of a hit as it would be in normal rooms when you were kind of still in the same thing, as opposed to, hey, we're bringing in new people. If you're in a normal room where it didn't work last year, and they didn't play, but they're still back in the same system,
Right.
It's it's not what you want. But bringing in a new system, new eyes to impress, new people to work with, new invigoration, new everything's different.
System,
You may take to the system and scheme a little bit better than you obviously did with what was the past. So I think it may be a slightly beneficial towards it being the same thing as last year.
Right. And that's what I was going to talk about is you have bodies, but you also have a guy who's proven that he can develop that position. And so I think that's an added bonus, right? Like it's, to everything you just said, like he is.
Yeah, these names are written in pencil.
Was
like,
that?
I would imagine that this
listen,
room was written in pencil.
And it wasn't because the guys we had before weren't talented. They just didn't develop. And I think you have a guy there that has a track record of developing cornerbacks into being elite cornerbacks. And so I think that bodes well. But it is tough that a guy that is talented is no longer or not as of right now on the team.
Yes. Officially not on the team, but it's not a kicked off the team situation. I think he's just kind of like if there's a commissioner's list for LSU football, he would be on that.
Yeah.
But when you talk about like the recruiting that and having a new defensive backs coach, there are two freshmen that he brought in P.J. Woodland and Bernard Causey. P.J. Woodland was the guy that was taking reps with the ones in early camp. So that's a Corey Raymond guy of that build. Like
Bernard Causey is a big get, too.
Yeah, and he's got like that LSU, DBU kind of like mentality. He was seen on the 7-on-7 circuit.
I will say this: both
locking
of them,
up some kid from Alabama, and he's like, "Dick Saban, be ashamed of you."
Yep.
I will say this: both of them, if they are going to play and be a part of the long haul this season and be impactful this season, I sure hope that they put on some weight in the summer.
You see that 160?
Because 160 and 158, that ain't gonna cut it
No.
in this league. I'm just strictly off of that. I know that for a fact. Name me a player that's able to be out there 10+ games in this league at that weight. I got one, and he wasn't an every down player. Trendon Holiday.
Yeah. Had a special skill set.
He had a very special skill set.
The other guy,
catch. You can never catch me.
Yeah,
that's about it. Like
the other guy was Devontae Smith, but same thing. He would just.
he did score 22 touchdowns.
Yeah,
you couldn't catch him.
Yeah,
and they schemed it up. So it is very hard to find. And both of those guys were ball carriers.
Yep.
Right. Not the guy. We need you to go make tackles. We need you to stick your nose in there. So those two things, literally off of that, I hope that they have put on some weight this summer. Or just when I see them two, they got a ways to go. That's all I think about. Doesn't matter how maybe skilled they are. It's just tough at that size.
Yeah, because it's not about. At some point, it's about physicality too, like being physically able, like skilled, like being talented.
Think about it, dude. If I'm sitting there as an offensive coordinator as we go through the season, and I see those two sizes on it, I'm scheming up coming at you all day.
Yeah.
Tunnel string.
Sooner or later, you have to show me you can stick your nose in there and stay on the field. Sooner or later, that's going to happen if those are guys you're sticking out there at that size.
And you think about the times that LSU has played actual cornerbacks, right, as a freshman. Not counting Tyron in that because Tyron was kind of a joker. He was moving all – they utilized his abilities because they had guys on the outside that you could not throw against. So, hey, you're talented. Let me just run you around. So he's not really like –
run you around. They let him go be free. Like they let Harold
whatever
do
he
his
wants to
freshman
do.
year. Like, hey, responsibilities, we'll give you less of those.
Yeah.
Go play.
Yeah.
See the ball,
Just
go play.
get the ball.
Yeah.
But the cornerbacks that you saw start as freshmen were already physically – not just talented, but
Patrick Peterson.
like those are like Patrick Peterson could have been a safety. You know what I mean? Came in ready to go. And so
I don't think he was 158.
No. But hopefully that's part of coming to school. Like as you get older, you can put on about 15 pounds.
Yeah, they could.
pretty
You
quick.
could do it over the summer, and that's why I said, like, when I look at that list of corners on the roster right now, obviously outside of Javian Toviano, I'm thinking, y'all got 4.
Yeah.
Because if the other 2 didn't put on weight, they ain't playing this year.
Right.
It's really that simple.
Right.
Really that simple.
And you have to be concerned about, not so concerned, but it is something to earmark with Alexander, like coming off an ACL, and it wasn't at the beginning of the year. It's like week 4 or week 5. And so you have to mark that progress and see where, because he was coming around, like he was a legitimate
He
starter.
was our
for
best
you.
cornerback.
Yeah, I would say so. And so that's one that you can, if everything went right with rehab and all of those things, that's one you feel comfortable about. J.K. Johnson, Jair Brown haven't played. Like, they haven't played at LSU. You haven't seen what they can do. So older guys that fit the bill, but you just have to see it in the SEC.
Yeah, I would say when it comes to looking at this defense and looking at that room, going into camp, that is one that you hold your breath and you hope that they can stay healthy through camp, because with the subtraction right now of Toviano, like, it's a thin room in that sense. Like, you got 4 guys and you're hoping that those guys stay on the field and they can keep doing it, because it's going to be hard if not.
What?
Sage Ryan about to get his number called again.
I think he's the nickel. I think that's where he's going.
I know, but they've used him in this role before. Whenever they get thin, they just throw Sage in there, and he gets upset about it because he's never had a position. So he just plays all of them.
What do you think the strongest position group we got on defense is? I think it's pretty easy, right?
On defense, I mean, linebacker.
I think linebacker, right? That's our best, probably our best
And it's not because
position.
It's not because, I mean, you can circle one for sure that puts them above the rest, but I don't know if it's because you like
It's the best.
the room. But yeah, no, but I think it's because of the deficiencies at the other two.
I still think, outside of having, because you got to think about it. One, you have an absolute star there. One, he's got 2 years of real experience there. And then you also have a older, very experienced guy that's there
who's one of the better ones like the last year.
A very sneaky one. I want to see how good he's going to be this year. I mean, he got on the field a lot last year, but
Weeks?
what's the second year of Weeks looking like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
How good is he going to be? How big of a role is he going to play on the opposite side of somebody like Perkins and stuff?
I think you have to go and talk about not just the talent, but the guys you have coaching the talent too.
Yes.
Right, and I think that's a big difference for those guys. You also have you have elite defensive line coaches. You don't have as many bodies as you do in the linebacker room, or at least experienced bodies that you have.
Yeah, I think if you're able to get solid play up front and some bodies that you can filter in and out up front to keep those guys fresh, I think that group of linebackers, that room is going to surprise a lot of people with how well they play, because I do think there's some serious talent right there, and there's obviously one older, very experienced player there as well.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was looking through the lineup a little bit, but yeah, those are your 3, and then you have the older Weeks brothers. So you have
you're
a
gonna
little
have
bit
to
of
hope
stability.
some of those young defensive linemen, like defensive ends, the edge guys, start to develop. Right, like start becoming those guys, because that'll help a lot. If you may be young, but if you can have some of those guys that you can filter in, even as a freshman, it's going to help.
Well, I think, guys like Savion Jones and guys like, what's the other end that was a freshman last year?
Womack?
Yeah, if Womack, I think if those two guys come along, that'll be great for them. But what they really need, I really hope, is they can filter some of those interior D linemen in that can kind of eat up some space, that can hold up some linemen, that can allow those guys to run a little free. I think that's going to help this defense, and that's going to help those kind of corner edge rushers a little bit more. I think those interior linemen are really, really, really key for them this year. And if they can kind of filter some guys in that can get the job done, because we don't have just straight up names that you're going to see on the field for 3, maybe 4 downs. Can you filter guys in who can all get the job done?
And that's when you start talking like of not the positives, I guess. Like when you look at the LSU offense, you're like, I could see them, winning 10 games. But you also look at the defense, and with the hit of Toviano, you start to see. I can see why LSU was picked fifth in the SEC.
Yeah. Well, 5th, I think that's a good spot.
Yeah.
I think
that's what I'm saying. That's where they fall in that. Like you could
There's
talk yourself into 3rd.
More
but you could also
question
be
marks.
like 5th is probably the floor.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
5th is fair. I think 3rd is high right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
preseason.
Yeah, but
I think if you're really talking preseason without any of it playing out, and you're saying, all right, what can each team do? I think 5th is
probably the ceiling.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's the floor. I think
Preseason.
that's the top of it.
Now
I'm not saying they can't be 3rd, 2nd, or 1st when it all comes down to it and push comes to shove. But preseason, when you look around the league and what everyone else has done, it's hard to have an argument above 5. It'd be hard to have an argument, though, below 7, if you ask me.
And here's the deal. Those guys don't give a shit about preseason rankings.
No,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just looking at it like
No, right, for sure.
Like the people that vote on it don't really give a shit either, but they looked at it and they're like, 5th sounds right. And I agree, because
And
when you go
that's-
down the line of Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, tied with Vanderbilt for 2nd and SEC.
Yeah,
votes
that's
to
crazy.
finish
Vanderbilt
first.
got 2 first-place votes.
Those
LSU got
jokers.
1?
Who did
Or you
that?
said 2?
2.
Yeah.
Somebody that went
Someone
to
else got
Vanderbilt.
one. Someone else got one.
South Carolina got
South
one.
Carolina got one.
Good for you to make a mockery of the whole
Yeah,
thing. Huh?
Vandy.
Good God.
But for as good as they're going to be on offense, at least expected, with the offensive line and a quarterback that you feel is capable of doing it, they're going to have – they just have to be average on defense, I think.
I think they will.
Top 50.
Top 50.
Top 50.
And you talked about like the defensive line room, which is what everybody's a little bit concerned about. A lot has been made of Kevin Peoples, like from hearing what's going on over there, like with the defensive staff and Blake Baker. Obviously, he brought Kevin Peoples specifically, and to see him work with the LSU defensive line and them actually to have a coach, now 2 coaches for the defensive line, makes a world of difference from when you saw weeks 1 through 6, 5 of them lining 5 yards off the ball.
Who's the outside, like the
That's
rush?
Peoples.
As Peoples is a rush coach, right? He's a rush guy.
Yeah, Bo
And then-
Davis is inside.
Yeah, Bo Davis is inside.
And
I think that shows you the evolution of football too, right?
it's
Like,
important.
like it used to be you have a defensive line coach. Now you have an edge guy, and you have an interior guy, because it's 2 different types of 2 different styles now. It used to be you could rotate almost, for the most part, guys from DN to DT. Now there's guys that are literally like nose tackles are literally not moving anywhere. But now it's like
Tyler Shelvin.
you have like defensive rush ends are like a whole different type of position than it used to be.
Yeah, well, because now you can find guys all the way down to 240 at that position.
Yep.
Where that wasn't a thing before.
Uh-huh.
It really wasn't.
Yeah, you can count on one hand like Elvis Dumerville of like guys that
Yeah,
were like,
you-
how is he
or,
doing
or
this?
even like a Von Miller. Like
Yeah.
Von's probably like 250, maybe 255.
Especially when he came in or
Yeah,
college.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
used to see the guys like J.J. Watt,
Yeah.
who were like 300, but like
Yeah,
athletic.
JJ Watt's big because JJ
Yeah,
is
right.
close to
That-
300. But I'm
that's not
saying even
used to.
like
Those
a
are old school.
traditional like 4-3 old school, like
Yeah.
below 275 wasn't really a
no,
thing,
right?
right? Like that wasn't a thing, and now it's gotten more speed, more I guess skill oriented to where you can see guys all the way down to like 245 at that
Right.
spot. So
Right.
like yeah, it's a different
And
spot.
it goes to the offense, right? They throw the ball a lot more. They're a little bit more spread out. They're not trying to run it down your throat as much with the power formation where you have to kind of
Well,
lean on these big ass
You
guys.
got to understand too. Every team does so much with pre-snap motions of stretching you
Yep.
horizontally that they're gonna make you. They stress you this way. They're gonna make you defend all 53 yards of side to side. So when that happens, like I got to have guys that can move, and that's that kind of becomes a thing as well. So it's been a whole lot of the offensive, I guess, enhancement and development where the offensive game is going. That's kind of pushed some of the other side to do it, but it's a thing now. Yeah. Which is also another thing too, when you talk about like I always have this conversation with people about where the game is going right now. I don't know if you ever noticed, but it used to be like the left tackle is the spot. You ever notice now it's both tackles. Mm-hmm. You got to have both booking tackles. Why? Because it used to always be we're gonna line up our best end on the left side away from your best tackle, and now we're gonna take our best player and we're gonna put him at multiple spots and find your worst offensive player. So now it's like, well, dude, we can have a great left tackle, but they just gonna put him on the other side in front of the right tackle. So like now teams are kind of looking at it that way. So I think both tackles have become super important nowadays.
and LSU's got 2 good ones,
Really good ones.
which helps.
What we don't have is a 4-star commit. He did not end up coming here.
Your guy.
Yeah. Jaboree Antoine decided to go to Miami over LSU. And the one little caveat here at the end of the day is what people don't realize is you do know who the DB's coach is at Miami, correct?
Chevis Jackson.
I did not know that.
So he's got a little bit of pull there.
Yep.
And Chevis and Raymond are really tight. They've grown a relationship that's been really cool. So they know each other super well. They actually mesh in a whole bunch of like way more than you think. So I'm not surprised that he was able to pull a kid from here, obviously having the LSU ties and knowing that, hey, bro, I've been there. I did that. I was there. You need to be here. I would imagine that was probably a lot of his sell. And since Jaboree did take visits there first, and that was where I would imagine that was a big part in what kind of pulled him from there. So you gotta when you think about when you think about hey because I know there's some people that are hearing this and being like, oh, we just have to be able to keep him in state. That's where he got pulled from here. You got to think about that.
Yeah, that's another like
And that's
LSU
par-
guy.
And that's part of what makes former LSU players attractive coaches. because they do have, especially when you're from the league, you have those connections in Louisiana to go back and try to poach players. I mean, you go look at a lot of the big schools, like they have a lot of coaches that have Louisiana ties.
Yeah.
Pete Golding, Louisiana ties, from Louisiana, right? Like, able to come down here and get in recruits. Now he was at Alabama, now he's at Ole Miss, doing the same kind of stuff. And you look around the country, it's similar, right? Because it's a big area for guys to be able to come in here and relate. And so I know Chev was there. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I just think a lot of the flack was, but honestly, I think the DJ Pickett edition probably softened the blow a lot.
Absolutely.
Because if he had missed on both, then it would be the old song and dance of the game's passed Raymond by. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's an old hire, like retread.
And yeah,
not the case.
Yeah, 100%. And just going off of this is a very elementary way to go about it, but if you're going off of just measurables and where they are when it comes to recruiting situations, you would probably want DJ Pickett over Jaboree. Right? Now, it could very easily turn out the other way around when one is a way better player than the other. We've seen it happen a million times. I'm not saying that at all, right? But when it comes to that, and it's literally looking, I've never seen them both in a vacuum, I'm probably taking the other one in that situation either. So LSU did what they needed to do. That kid's going to go there and play really, really, really well, I would imagine, especially with somebody like Chevis kind of tutoring him and bringing him along. I mean, it is what it is, bro. You can't keep them all, and that's one that's going to leave and probably going to have a very successful career. Just is what it is.
Who do you model your recruiting after? You know, how do you bring these guys into your team?
Yeah, Lloyd. I mean, we're in that season, dude. Tell us what you're
are
doing
you
and how you do
Are you
it.
a big are you a hard pitch guy or a soft pitch guy?
Well,
you
like,
Lloyd's chasing all stars. That's what he's chasing.
do you wait at the end and then really go in hard at the end, or do you work on it gradually throughout the course of the
Let's just say, first of all, we built the fence early. Got a couple of commits from Louisiana week one.
So you go when you go dynasty
I mean, the
mode,
model has
LSU.
worked.
You don't try to go small school. You go, I'm gonna be LSU. I'm gonna go and have this dynasty.
I wanted to get my feet wet with the squad I'm gonna run with.
Yeah, you play on varsity.
I play on All American.
Yeah, but not Heisman.
Not Heisman. I'll graduate there at some point.
Have you tried to play Heisman?
No.
You haven't even attempted.
I can't be. I mean, I got Alabama next, coach. You know how many people are coming into this game?
Are you going undefeated already in All American?
Oh, I'll quit if I'm losing. I'm trying to figure.
You're
the game
that
out.
guy.
Yeah, well,
You're
some of this game has a little bit of fishiness to it. The
Rage quit. Well, they're getting all the kinks out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of these things, like Josh Williams ain't fumbling the first carry. It's just not gonna happen. And then
Maybe you got hit in the right spot.
No,
High and tight, baby.
he
Tiki
does.
Barber.
I would trust that man with my life. I'd let him carry my head if it wasn't attached to my
Lloyd,
body.
does that game keep count of how many? Like, can you see how many times you probably quit and restart games?
They keep count of your hours, yeah.
No,
no.
not
How
ours.
many times you quit and restart games?
Yeah, like.
Oh,
Would you be willing to post that? 'Cause I
Oh,
would
I
love
would.
to see that.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but you don't play, and you don't even play on.
He's not even playing on Heisman when he's doing that.
And he's not even playing against people. Like he's.
No, you can't
not-
play online anymore. There's too much cheese out there.
Why
Ain't
don't
no
you just
rat.
not talk to him?
It's not that. That would be my only advantage at this point.
So why? Wow.
Because they all run like one play that works every time, and you just don't want to get caught in that.
There is a lot of guys. I think there is a lot of people that play on like online, and they find the
glitch.
the game glitches, and then they become like the game kings, and they tell everybody they're the best at it. But all you really did was find the glitch, and you really don't know how to play, and you really. I think there is a lot of that, but I think there's a lot of that probably goes on in
No
like
doubt.
every game.
Yeah,
gaming
that's why
community.
people quit playing Madden, and like that's
The
why.
old, was it Madden or is it the old NCAA where there was a glitch where you could go in a certain formation, motion a guy at a spot, snap it, and you used to throw it down the line to the guy, and the ball would hit the ground, and then you'd press another button, and you would automatically throw it to your guy down the field on a touchdown.
Was this on Atari? This shit
Yeah.
sounds
No,
old.
this was
Bo
like
Jackson.
I think it was an older Madden version, like. But
Yeah,
Madden
people
2002?
find that and like there's like
Marshall
cheat
Faulk?
code. Like when Michael Vick, that was a cheat code. When
Yeah.
when that.
Well, I
that-
mean, I
that
feel like
Madden
every game still probably has those too, right? Who's
Yeah.
the Michael Vick of this?
Quinshawn Junkins. The
No,
Ohio
it's,
State running back.
is it?
And Jalen Milroe
Jalen Milroe
is
is
nasty.
Nasty.
He's throwing like 70-yard touchdowns back
Yeah.
corner of the end zone, dotting people up, and it's. I'm worried. I got to play him. He's up tonight, and I flew in all my recruits for the visit.
How many?
Just to watch you get your head
What's
smashed.
the
I might be up
record?
till 2 a.m.
What's the record?
Oh, both undefeated, 1-2.
Well, how many games did you play?
6. So this is about the bye week right now, going into week 7
Okay.
or week 8. Yeah, one of those. I just took out
How many?
A&M.
How
You
many?
playing full games? You playing moment? What you doing?
Full game, 4 minutes.
How many?
They chewed the clock against.
How
A&M
many
today.
times have you quit in a game before you finish the game?
That's what I asked him. Like, how many do they keep counting?
Yeah,
how many
like
times you restart it?
against Alabama.
I haven't played them yet.
On
I know,
average,
but like-
on average right now through your 6 games,
if you average it out, probably 2.5.
3 times a
I think-
game?
I think he's being. I think he's full.
3
of shit
times a
right
game?
Well, some of those are cupcakes. FCS.
Okay,
Southeast,
Division
though, was a
1
problem.
games. Have you quit every
You
single
kept that
time?
cupcake schedule in there. You didn't even put.
Oh, I played it. I played it for real. I
sack
want to
of-
see what the season plays out like. This is called. I'm studying.
You soft.
I
I'll
gotta
say if
learn
you
it.
don't miss.
Yeah. No, I haven't played them yet.
They play.
Oh, I did.
You
I don't
did
know.
play 'em.
I just played Arkansas A&M bye week, so I guess I've already played Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I would think beat them, obviously,
obviously.
undefeated.
Wow, it wasn't that big of a game. You didn't even notice it.
I mean, you literally just
Should've-
talked about.
Arkansas was a headache, but I figured it out. Moved Perk to the middle, spotted their quarterback. That they got
Arkansas is a
transferred.
headache, huh?
Yeah.
That's-
Well, it was a bad.
That's
it was
pretty
a
realistic, though.
rain.
Arkansas always
Yeah, it
gives
was a
that-
sneaky.
gives
So
Yeah.
you're saying every team's kind of playing you differently? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
They got their skill sets.
How's the
Jay Johnson's recruiting. Don't worry about that.
how is the like? To me, when they develop these games and they make them better and better, playing the quarterback position becomes harder and harder.
Yes.
Is it hard?
I did
For
see
me-
something about that where they like. I would probably be a absolute maven on this game because they do. You can like apparently you can disguise defenses on this thing too.
You can like come out and say if you're running like cover 2 or like you're running a cover 2, you can make it look like it's a cover 3. Then they rotate
Wow.
post snap. So yeah, that's the fun part
I wonder, and I've always said this.
because that's what everybody does. You look like too high.
Well, that's what
safety.
people that can't play football they don't know. Like that's where they
I've
struggle.
always
You
said
fooled
this, but like, wouldn't it be really cool if like NCAA football now that it's back in college, right now they're paying their athletes? Wouldn't it be really cool if they had like a special program for schools and saying, hey, this is your version. You can upload your playbook into this so that like now your quarterback is basically running your own playbook and your own plays that help.
basically do have that.
They do?
They have pretty much. They've been doing that for a while though. A lot of
What?
team specific like playbooks. I mean, it's
Yeah, so that's like one of the
pretty
big
strong.
selling points of the game.
yeah. That's been a thing for a while though.
Yeah, but like it's not generic. Like, I mean, it's
No,
similar
no,
to their
no.
playbook, but like it's like I'm talking about the
No,
actual
no.
language of the plays and everything.
The language of it is generic, but
Yeah.
the rest of it is pretty
With
much
the
spot
yeah,
on to what you do.
like if you pick Army, it's all option. You know, like and
No,
if you
no, I
pick-
know that. I
yeah.
know that
but
part.
no, like from their like
I'm talking
from
about like,
their
route
root-
trees and stuff like the
everything.
The
If you
concepts.
pick Army,
All that
it's going to
kind of
have their
stuff.
formations, their plays. You're not going to be running LSU's off. There's not even going to be a possibility.
That's the example. If you pick Tennessee, they line up like outside
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hash
okay.
marks. They're
Okay,
like
okay,
right
okay,
next
okay.
to
so
the
like
sidelines.
that's already
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Okay.
Already.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's hard. Somebody already challenged me to do a game. I told him I quit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Try.
Man, the
So,
more I
guys,
talk about this, the more I really want to go get it. We should get one for the studio. That's what we should do.
Come in here and whoop some ass before.
We should get one for the
Oh,
studio.
you would tell the tenor of the show would change.
No, that'd
if you
be
played-
great. I think that'd be great for
Boy,
the
Jared
show.
ain't talking today. I wonder what happened.
I think that'd be great for the show.
Absolutely. It's a tax write-off.
How much are they?
I don't know.
You'd be $500 for the console,
What's
$60
that,
for the
man?
game.
Is it still $500?
That's what I was asking. How much is the console?
Well, they didn't mark it down because of a lot of people, geriatrics, didn't know that you needed a new one. So the sales went for the Xbox One S and the PS5 because they.
I'm
were-
getting a PS5 if we get one in here.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you a PlayStation guy or an Xbox guy?
I'm a PlayStation guy.
Yeah, me too.
I was an Xbox
I've never
guy.
been an Xbox guy.
Ever.
I
Ever.
was, and then I saw the light. But it's also still confusing me because it's the first time I've played a football game on the PlayStation, and that X button used to be where Square is. So,
Oh, they changed the buttons.
well, Xbox and
Oh,
PlayStation.
you're talking about
so
that, yeah.
whenever
That's
see
why I
X,
couldn't do it.
Yeah, I know. So that's part of the quitting.
It's
It's not your fault, Nuss. It's mine.
I mean, maybe that's a thing we do.
Good. I don't think anybody would have
I
any
would
flack.
struggle. I mean,
I mean, we could stream it, make money on Twitch.
the beginners. You know, hey, this is how it started, and then everybody watched our progression.
Right. I mean, you see Coach Doug's out there just getting throttled. He has half the office like helping him make a playbook. He doesn't know how to run RPOs, so they took out all the RPOs, put in some trick plays, and he's struggling.
Wow.
He lost. I saw it on Twitter. He was running the option. He was down 4, and he had to score like 15 seconds left. Option gets picked off, taken the other way.
Option
loses.
got picked
Yeah.
off. Wow.
This is a live stream in front of like 100,000 people, and he's like, "This couldn't have gone worse."
Yeah, I mean we should look. I'm gonna look into that.
Get us in the studio earlier, that's for sure.
We got a We got a few things we need to get taken care of first.
Progress.
I wish we could show you the
I
progress.
think we can.
No, you don't have to do all of that yet. That's
Okay.
too many wires hanging. Don't do that.
Just the TV. The TV. Mounted.
TV
Shout out
mounted,
Mike T.
camera mounted. Wires about to get.
Buried.
Yep. About to get lights in here, and then we'll start decorating the wall.
Yes.
Moving on up.
That's Jared. That's Jared's job. That should be your modus operandi.
You too.
I got what I just have to pick up. What it has to be. You know what
Milazzo's giving us the gear.
Yeah, it's gonna get right behind me,
I know where the guitar is.
and I'll be set.
Yep. No. Is that the only thing they see? Flip
Yeah.
to you? Nope. So you get the other wall too.
I got a little. I put a little something there.
Yeah. Didn't you have a picture? Oh no, you brought the jersey.
I got the
Did
jersey,
you hang the jersey up?
and I've got the got a framed Harold Perkins picture.
There you go.
Put up Perk 40.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll bring
I
it here.
didn't make it your, make it your deal. That's the next
I
move.
should just do all of like the old college posters, like the Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, the two girls kissing, all of those.
That's what you want?
Yeah, just the old school. Throw it back to
That used to be
every
your,
dorm
that
room.
used to be your dorm room?
No, but it was whenever I was.
I was
in high
never
school.
a poster on the wall guy.
Me either.
You should make a wall of like all the media guides.
Uh,
I was never
They're
a poster
expensive,
on the wall
cuz.
guy. Were you?
I think I had.
himself.
I feel like I did have some players on the wall. I had a Dion poster on my wall when I was a kid. I did have that. I don't remember what other ones I had. Though.
Wasn't allowed to.
Dion Cowboy. He was in the stands. Had one.
And chin strap down.
Yeah, that was dope. That's probably where it started at.
Wasn't allowed because of like the ticky tack. Always would stick to the wall. You couldn't get it off the wall. So it was a short life.
Manifestation, baby. You know.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Dion was in my head as a young kid. Just a thought.
It
Should play
happened.
cornerback.
I don't know. I was pretty silky with the ball, man.
You were? No doubt. I'm just saying, Bo tried to get you. Bo tried to make you the next Dion.
He did.
Outfielder as cornerback.
He did. I like the rock too much, bro. You're gonna have the rock in my hand, bro.
Paul Skenes throws on Wednesday.
We going?
And then he throws again on Monday, which will be in Houston.
As I'm saying, we should go.
Can't go on Monday for a show on Monday.
We do it there.
Not going to be able to
From
do
the
it there.
concourse, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not going to be able to happen.
You think they allow that or no?
Imagine there's probably going to be a high demand for tickets.
Oh.
I would imagine that they're going to have maybe one of the better Monday games as far as fans go all year.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of obviously LSU contingency
For sure.
for Houston,
Yeah.
but I think you're going to see a lot of Skenes. Purple
People are
and
going to
gold.
go. People are going to, even for visiting teams, want to go watch
I
him
mean,
pitch.
did you see them from the weekend when he pitched there, or when they won this week? He didn't even pitch. When they won this weekend at home, hey, that stadium was packed.
Yeah, I think they're 500 right now.
I don't know if they're 500. They were like 8 under going into the All-Star break, but obviously on the up and up and looking to be buyers if they could get through, if they can get to the break as like a contending team.
Let's see where they're at. I'm trying to pull up.
I don't think they're actually there.
Internet's really slow, huh?
It's almost impossible for them to be all the way there right now at this point.
They're one game over 500. They're 50
One
and
over?
49.
There you go.
They are 7 games back from Milwaukee leading the division.
They're going to be buyers at the break. man.
1.5 back. I mean, 1 game back from St. Louis as the number 2 in the
When
division.
was the last time they were buyers at the break, bro? Like,
Wow. Let's see what
The
the
Paul
wild
Skenes
card.
effect is real. Like, legit real. And they got some other really young, really good players there, but you inserted an ace into the
Pittsburgh.
lineup.
Pittsburgh's a half game back from the wild card.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
They're 8-2 in their last 10. Can you imagine Paul Skenes in postseason baseball? How awesome is that? Baseball needs that. Like,
I think baseball secretly wants that.
they have to have it.
it.
I mean,
That's a fair want, too.
Can you
honestly.
find? I don't know if I'm treating you like as you're like the ESPN stats team, but can you see if you can find
Ask
what
G's.
Pittsburgh? Yeah, what Pittsburgh's record is since Paul got called up.
Probably, but I was going to say Pittsburgh does show out whenever they get to the playoffs. Because I remember like
Yes,
the
they do.
2013, was it the play-in game? Whenever I forgot who was pitching for the Reds, but he dropped the ball because they were like chanting at him.
Yeah.
And he was just totally like shook, and Pittsburgh was on top of him. And so they'll get rowdy if they make a postseason run or even make a chance to play for a wild card spot.
Oh, dude, it's one of the best places to play in
just
baseball.
They haven't had a lot to celebrate.
They just haven't been in the postseason very often. When was the last time they made the postseason? I'm trying to find if they have it. I don't know if I'm sure you can find it. But I mean, it's over 500, obviously, since he's been there. Because I think they were under 500 when he got called up.
Yeah.
It's been a big difference for them. They have a very talented, young, talented rotation.
Roster, too.
A whole roster, to be honest with you. So it'd be really cool to see what they can do. But he throws on Monday in Houston. He's must-see TV for Major League Baseball.
Appointment television.
And so it's, I expect Houston to have a significant amount of fans because of the LSU connection and because of how dominant he's been. You haven't found it, huh?
No, I think that's like something you might have to do yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
you
not
gotta
you, but like I'd have to.
No,
like,
you got to be able to put that. Like there's spreadsheets and stuff kind of.
Yeah, I'd have to do some.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's too hard to do
That's
right now.
behind the scenes.
I was just hoping somebody.
There's a little bit
had
of a
already
cheat code they got.
I was hoping that somebody had already done it.
Me
and
too.
Then, like post an article about it. That's what I was kind of.
Somebody should write it.
I'm sure that someone has said something about it, but it's not like the highlight of the article. But he's done a lot for Pittsburgh. They're 50-49. I don't think anybody would have thought they'd be over 500 right now. Go watch them on Monday. Watch them Wednesday first.
And then Monday.
We're gonna put it on. They're off on Thursday, so I'd imagine Wednesday's probably a day game. Since whoever they're playing is traveling, it's a travel day. Unless it's prime time, I don't doubt it's a night game. It's not on TV on Wednesday.
Should flex that thing.
Huh?
Flex that thing.
Did y'all see the pie chart of all that you sent that, right? The pie chart of all the professional sports and where they get their revenues from. Highest revenue of all the professional sports, obviously football. What do you think second, Lloyd?
Highest revenue of all the sports?
Yep, major sports.
All the 4 major sports, American sports.
Baseball.
You think they're second out of basketball, football, hockey, and baseball? You think baseball is the second highest revenue sport?
Yeah, just because of the TV deals and all that. I mean, there's 162 of them they play every day.
See, I would have guessed basketball.
Only 82.
Basketball and football are tied. I mean, basketball and baseball are tied at $10.9 billion. But I think if you watch baseball or you listen to the media and you hear everything that's going on, all the negative stuff, you would think baseball would not be number 2. It would probably be third behind football and basketball. That's not the case. The way they make their money is distributed a little bit differently.
Yeah, they all make their money a little bit differently.
Yeah. Baseball is a little bit more local, which we all know.
Mm-hmm.
It's more they get more money on their local TV deal, whereas football's majority of their money is national football.
The vast
media
majority of their
deal.
money
Yeah.
is vast.
Yeah. So, why did I say that? Oh, because Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes would do wonders for them. I mean, the All-Star game was already. Did they come? I don't know if
But let me ask you
those
this:
stats.
why would Paul Skenes do wonders for them?
Because he's a guy that has created a little bit of buzz in baseball where people have to watch him. And so to be able to put him at the biggest stage in the postseason, I think brings more eyeballs to the game because it's somebody who
But so then if they don't get to the postseason, then why?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we're not at the postseason yet. So like why would someone like Paul Skenes do wonders for him if they're not in the postseason?
What? I'm talking about if they were in the postseason.
I know, but I'm asking you too. My point is we're not at the postseason
No,
yet. So
right
why
now
would
he's
he
already
draw?
created more interest already in the game of baseball. People are watching him. He's appointment television. So people have already tuned in to watch him pitch on his start day. So he's bringing in more. He was the first rookie to start the All-Star game. So he's already bringing some intrigue because of how talented he is. So I think that's a huge thing for baseball to have a guy like that that's marketable. And he's basically marketed himself because of how much of a freak show he is. Doesn't hurt that Livy Dunn's his girlfriend, right? She's a pretty, visible person. So I think all of that is very positive for Major League Baseball. Even without the postseason, but I think making the postseason just brings it to a whole nother level. What do you think?
No, I 100% agree with that. I think when it comes to Major League Baseball, like look at football and you look at basketball. They don't rely on Taylor Swift or somebody else's significant other or the actual situation to basically be the marketer for growing their game and growing their sport.
Right.
They market those players. Those
Right.
players become likable. It draws in more people to it.
Right.
So my point is, I do think even though they're sitting there at second, if they took the initiative to go and push and market those players more, then the game grows as well.
I agree with that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if it falls through and they don't make the playoffs, and like what about Paul that he does is going to continue to grow the game? Because when I look at Paul as something that's marketable, dude, Paul has a personality that's a lot like Mike Trout.
Right.
He's not the center of
100%.
of spotlight type of guy. So like obviously he's got otherworldly ability, but we all saw for so long Major League Baseball didn't make someone like Mike Trout, didn't truly make someone like Mike Trout a larger than life figure.
Right. Now they have the opportunity to.
That's my
Yeah.
question is, will they? Because they haven't. They've shown
Right.
us they haven't. They've shown us they won't.
Right.
And they're allowing and are wanting the prisoner of the moment type situation to do it in hopes that that'll really grow that. And I just don't think that long term, that's the best way to do it.
And here's the other thing, right? Like MLB hasn't done that, but maybe, just maybe, Pittsburgh will be able to do that for MLB, right? Because Pittsburgh's going to want to promote Pittsburgh as best they can. So they are a pretty big baseball town, big sports town. So if they go and they say, okay, we're going to continue to promote Paul Skenes, like from our side, and he continues to do well, then Major League Baseball can't help but promote him just based off of being close to it. They may not be doing it and paying for it and doing it. The team may be doing it, but he's so good and could potentially just do it himself with Pittsburgh just pushing all the content. Are they going to do it? That's the big question. I think Pittsburgh will. And I think the more they win, especially in the postseason, it takes on a life of its own at that point. And it would be really cool to watch. I mean, it makes postseason baseball is already great, but
I mean, I think
having a dog in the fight makes it even better.
Yeah, the postseason part of it would be huge because it's organically a thing, and obviously when you
Right.
talk about the Mike Trout side of it, there's never been a postseason where I don't think he's actually won a postseason game. Definitely not series.
Right.
So he's never actually advanced in it. So like that's obviously always been something as well. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've all been talking about how special Paul was since the first time we got to see him throw. So
Right.
It's no surprise to us, but I'm glad more people are kind of being able to get on board and getting to see it. And it's it is taking a life of his own right now.
Yep. Agreed. Lloyd,
Yes.
What are you doing?
I was looking for any breaking news on Twitter,
I appreciate it.
just in case.
Just in case. Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, well,
What?
I did want to put this in the doc, but I forgot. The
Okay.
Jordan Love contract situation is obviously
Oh
very
yeah, but
interesting.
I don't think that it feels like
Smart by him. He took a 2-year deal.
Listen, that's his agent. Same
I think
agent.
I think that's all he could get at the point, though. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Same agent that got Deshaun Watson. His deal
Oh,
is his agent. It's Jordan Love's agent. I think that it feels like they are going to get a deal done. I don't think if he would be there in person in the facility if they weren't semi-close to getting it done.
Yeah, I think the Packers are trying to pinch and keep it as far down as they possibly can. But this isn't like an Aaron Jones where it's an aging back, or this isn't a Aaron Rodgers where he's approaching 40 as a quarterback. Like, this is a young, budding star who they could possibly have locked up and have only their third quarterback starting there in I don't know how many years. I think this is something they realize they're going to have to do is they're probably just trying to find the best way to do it as a team.
And I know, and he's trying to maximize the amount of money he
And
can
he should
get.
be. No, he should be.
And
100%.
look, and the team should be like, yeah, we understand you are really, really good, but you did it 1 year, which we believe in.
Not even the full year.
Yeah, we believe you long term, but to say that you deserve $55 million, and I say that number because Joe Burrow signed for that, which, okay, he made it to a Super Bowl. He's done all these different
Trevor
things.
Lawrence signed for it. I think that's the real reason. Yeah.
That's the difference. Trevor Lawrence just signed for that same amount. So now that's a little bit more comparable to Jordan Love than Joe Burrow, and it's like, well, shit.
The quarterback,
You know?
market, the quarterback market and the receiver market right now is booming, son.
Yeah,
It
so
is
his
crazy.
agent's trying to maximize that. The team's like we don't really want to
We
pay
would like to not
55
do
a
that,
year. Like we love you and we think you're really good, one of the top quarterbacks, but 55's a lot.
Because they're probably looking at themselves like, I don't know exactly what he's making right now, but they're probably thinking like, boy, if we could get him at like 45 and keep
Yeah.
it there for the next 3 or 4 years, we win right now. And I'm sure he's trying to get over whatever that threshold is and put him closer to the top of that market right now. It's a tough spot for them to be
Yeah.
in.
I would imagine.
Because you got to give it
I
up.
think he signs in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if you heard it tomorrow.
Do you think there's a world in which he bets on himself again and it's like, I'll hit the open market? Like,
Fuck no.
No.
that's I'm just wondering because
No.
he could. He's basically on a. It's like you're going off a 1 year sample size of what you've seen, and he's betting that was enough for you to pay me in the range of $50 million.
No,
And
unless he
if you're the
goes
Packers,
and wins a Super Bowl this year, I don't think it's gonna like.
somebody would. Now you're contending with you would have to pay him $55 million because somebody else will.
Yeah, they're not gonna let that happen. They have a chance to have 3 quarterbacks, like go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to him, and have 3 quarterbacks stay there for
Close to 50
over
years.
15 years apiece.
No, close to 50 years by the time all 3 of them could possibly be done. I think that's something you would sign up for.
Cool.
It's crazy.
Almost no matter what the price is, but you also don't want to, because I mean you got to think about it from their side of it, man. With a guy like him who's got less than 20 games probably started in his career, and he's asking for whatever it is that he's asking for, which is obviously closer to the top of the market. If we give this to him, we have absolutely blown this thing open right now, and it's already pretty wide open. So there's that sort of a power struggle, but they're gonna have to come off whatever the number is that they're trying to give him because you have
think he
something that
signs
could possibly
soon?
be special. Yeah, of course. And he signed soon, and he signed soon because you have a group of young receivers. You've worked with all these guys, but you also need to get going soon.
Yeah.
Right. It may not be that imperative from them to get going on day 1, 2 in camp when you're not really into the weeds in it. You're not putting the pads on yet. You're not really going yet. But soon that's going to have to happen, and you're going to need them to start getting that continuity going and working and getting in football shape at that point. And it's probably more so because of those guys on the outside more than it is just him. He's throwing, his arm's fine, but he needs to be able to work with those guys, and they're probably like, hey, we need him out here because these guys need to keep going.
Agreed.
Yeah, you got to pay a quarterback if you got one. You don't want to Daniel Jones it, but I think that was a blind contract in terms of he saw something. And the more that you watch like that Hard Knocks with what the Giants were doing, he had no intention of re-signing Saquon. Like he just didn't want to do it. When you look at Joe Sheen and how he handled that whole negotiation, where he's like, go see what other teams have to offer you, come back to me.
Yeah, I think deep down he probably if he wanted to keep him, he just wasn't going to pay top dollar to keep him. Like
He had no problem with letting him walk.
right.
And then this next one, if you've seen the previews, who's the owner of the Giants? He's in the show.
Mara.
Yeah, John Mara is like, you're going to give me heart palpitations because they're talking about moving up in the draft to get Jaden Daniels, and like they're trying to get a deal done. He's like, if this deal goes through,
This is what I can't wait for because this one is more about the draft.
this is the draft.
And so it's going to talk about their process in the draft, which he even said, he goes, I'd rather the draft than free agency because you turn the card in, you make the pick, and you move on. This is like you got to go and deal with all these other teams. You don't know who's looking at who, and it's tough. The draft, you know exactly where you're going to be. You may not know who's going to be there, but you know where you're going to be. And so two of the guys that they're talking about is trading up to go get Jaden Daniels, which obviously LSU, which I wanted to see that process. And then they eventually land on Malik, which obviously another LSU guy.
All right.
Reports coming out of camp right now by Slayton is that Malik's a clone of Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
That's what Darius Slayton says.
Their measurables and everything they did the combine was eerily similar, and I don't think that people thought that whatever.
I don't think
going into
they
the
thought
year-
Malik was as physical as he actually is.
right, because it looks different. Like Jamar looks just kind of physically
More
different.
of like a running back kind of.
Right, like just the way he's built, but they're not that dissimilar size and weight wise, and obviously the speed, 40, everything, like 40 and the vertical are as close as they could be to like carbon copies of each other,
Yeah.
and they got a good one. Like it's hard. It's up to Daniel Jones obviously to get him the rock, and it'll
Well,
be
that's what-
interesting to see how that plays out if they don't. But
That's what they wanted, right, dog?
they got the face of your offense.
Yeah, I think that's what they were kind of going on in this. I think you're right in a sense where they love Saquon. They didn't love the Saquon for the price that they were going to have to pay for Saquon. And I think that they thought, all right, if we can't get it done here, we are at 6. That means there should be a game changer there somewhere. That's probably where we're going to have to go.
And that's what he said, right? We got to get him help. If we get rid of Saquon, we got to go get somebody.
Yeah.
Or we get a quarterback. He really believes in Daniel Jones.
I don't think he has a choice.
I know,
Not anymore.
but it's interesting that they were willing to trade up for, or at least interested in making a move to get
Well,
Jane
I
Daniels.
think
And
when
like,
you're that, I think you
have
close,
to
exactly.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. I don't think that was really going to be the move, but I think you have to exercise that option.
When
right?
you're in the top 5, 6 picks of the draft, and you have 3 quarterbacks that you really like that are that high, and you have unless you have a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen or someone like that, is the guy 100%. Like if the Saints had the 6th pick in the draft, maybe they were having conversations about do we need to trade up to go get number 1, number 2 guy, right? Not saying they were ever going to do it, but you have to.
I mean, you got to think
entertain
about it this way. Like, if I'm sitting at the 6th pick in the draft, and right now, even though it's a lot, I'm $20 million away from the top of the market, or possibly what's going to be the top of the market on this. Whoever signs this next big quarterback contract, I'm $20 million away from the top of the market in the quarterback contract. Yeah, dude, I'm having a conversation about who's available, because there's possibly if I can get rid of you and restart this thing, kind of go with somebody. Yeah, I'm gonna possibly do that. So I think that's kind of where they were. And you just never know, too. Like, what's the price? What are you asking for that pick? What do you want me to give up to get to that spot? Am I willing to do it? I don't know.
yeah, do we have the capital to do it?
Right. And then because you don't know what they're hearing from everybody else. You don't know where people are going in the draft. Like, hey, do I want to do this? Because let's just say, I don't know, say Malik's the head of their board, and for whatever reason Malik goes too. Shit, what do we need to do now? You know what I mean? So, like, you have to have those conversations.
Yeah, you got to
I think.
prepare for everything.
Yeah, I think you
Well,
have
let
to have
me-
those.
The
me
draft
ask
has
this-
been wonky.
Do you like the way they're like what they've done, as far as like
It doesn't seem like they have a plan.
I don't
think
see.
they-
Here's what I don't think they do a good job of on the show, because it's just hard for me to believe
that's
that
how
you
kind
don't
that's how
have
decisions are
like.
made.
Yeah, well, it's just hard for me to believe that you don't have like these in-depth conversations. So they show on the show, hey, John Runyon, I think his name is. I don't remember. Like lineman, his price is this. He's going to cost you this. But they don't show what's he best at. Is he a pass blocker? Is he a run
Right.
blocker? What does he do best? What does he not do good? Does it fit our scheme? Does it not fit our scheme? It's hard for me to believe that they went through all of this work and didn't really have those conversations. So like it shows you as if like they're just saying, oh, this is the price and this is this, and we're just going to keep collecting talent for whatever price it is that we can get it. That's what it comes off as. I'm just not sure that that's what actually happened. But if it is,
Right.
boy, that's bad.
And look, I think that they probably have done the back end work, and Hard Knocks is just not showing it.
Right. And that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like, if
yeah.
if it is how it went, that looks bad.
Yeah.
But that's what I don't like
Yeah.
about the show so far, is because that's what it comes off as. I'm just hoping. For me, I'm hoping for NFL, for the New York Giants, and however this thing goes, that's not what happened, or that's a badass hire,
Yeah.
and you need to get rid of them soon.
Right.
So, like, that's
Yeah,
just
you have to you have to imagine that they had meetings with analytics, and they had meetings with this guy. This is what he does in this scheme. You have to imagine that the
the
people
D
that,
coordinator, bring him in. Hey,
Yeah.
what your ideal player in your scheme at this spot? What's he look like?
you had to imagine they had that conversation, and the guys that they were mentioning are guys that fit the scheme that they want them to have in, right? And they're just talking about, okay, these are the guys that we're going after
Right.
based off what we discussed behind the scenes. I have to imagine that's the way it
I would
is.
hope. I would hope it just doesn't come off that way in what they show you so far.
Yeah.
So like that's my only like real problem with that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
But I have no problem with the moving on with Saquon. Sucks that he's at Philly.
I'll keep saying this when
If he stays healthy, he's gonna have an unbelievable year.
no, yeah, and I think they know that too. But like once again, this is just where I'm at. When we're talking about making our team better,
Yeah.
right? That means a quarterback needs to be upright. A quarterback needs to be healthy.
Yep.
I would love to be able to hand it off to a back like you every day. But if we can't make it work price-wise where everything else was, if just bringing you back is what makes most sense and now we can't do the rest of it, we'll probably be picking top 10 again next year.
Right.
Is that where we want to be? No. I'm probably not going to have a job if I do that. So I might probably have to do the uncomfortable, unpopular thing of saying that you are outpricing yourself in the sense of being able to come back here. Because we can't do that and make this
that
team
is
better.
your value.
That is your value.
We can't pay your
Right.
value.
If that's how he looks at it, I'm okay with it. Now, if you're telling me that there was more general manager, kick the can, gymnastics with the salary cap and translating it into signing bonus stuff that you could have done, maybe that's what makes you a bad GM, that you didn't do all of those things to make that money available. I don't know that, though. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'm not the salary cap magician.
No, but I mean, they did get better up front, but it was funny to watch how like real-time free agency plays out because they're like,
Because you can only predict it to a certain point, and you just don't know who's going to price it up. And he's like, they're driving the price up.
Yeah, that's what like for the offensive line. Like, what was our hard number? They're like 6 minutes. Like he went 7. It's like, do it.
Got to. Is that going to get it done? Yes. Okay, do it.
Right.
I mean, it's wild. I think I've enjoyed that part of it. Yeah, it's quick.
Like
quick.
that too, which is crazy. You don't have time to think about $1 million decisions.
Nope.
But you're making $1 million decisions.
It's happening like that. It's
crazy.
A wild time.
Looking forward to the draft part.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't imagine sitting there saying, "Hey, we got a pretty good intel, and we got $6 million on this guy, and we get off the phone, and he wants 8.5. What the?
Yeah.
We said 6 was the highest we could go for him."
Shane says, "Philly's out. Reports are Philly's out. They're driving whoever's driving the price. Detroit's driving whoever's driving the price up, but Philly's out." They say that? Yeah, it's a text guy. We'll see.
I don't know. Yeah, he's like, I don't know if any of this is true.
Goes to Philly.
But
shows you need better sources too, by the way.
I think he was lying tomorrow because he didn't want to have that conversation just yet. Because if he goes to Philly, I don't know what I'll do.
Hey, Mara looked like a kid who lost whatever candy he was trying to grab off the aisle, and Mama said put it back, and he was just walking down the hall, hands in pocket, head down, upset.
Hopefully it works out.
Got a bicycle for Christmas on the 25th. That thing was gone on the 26th.
Hey, you told the $1 billion owner that his prized possession and his biggest money maker in the organization, we can't keep him. Boy, he's not happy about it.
Because he said not only did he say we need to keep him, he said he's the most popular player
That's
we
what I'm
have
saying.
here.
Your prized possession, your money maker,
jersey sales.
can't keep him.
Now you got Malik, which helps.
Yeah.
You help.
Yeah, you're hoping like, hey, this guy, he better come and be popular too.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this episode because there will be
too.
more Malik in that conversation. I like that.
You know, it's not on TV anymore for us on my household. It's Love Island.
Oh, did you see that guy show his butthole?
You know who won? Is Odell's brother.
I'm
Really?
empty nest this week, and I'm so glad I don't have to hear that.
Odell's brother won. Odell
Really?
called in,
Hear that.
FaceTimed on the show.
Oh, you saw it all. I didn't see that. I heard it happen, but I didn't see it. Hey, Mikey be right there. Look, face down, hand under chin,
With popcorn.
feet up behind him.
Can you believe he said that to her?
He's trying to act like he be watching this. He be locked
But
in.
now I
Dangerous
used to have to watch Hard Knocks on Wednesday because this show did not have.
When do you get the remote? When do
I
you
usually
put
get
your
the remote.
foot
Football
down?
season's coming, Coach. This is the time you
He
take
gets
it.
he gets the remote for 3 months in football season. After that, you don't get this.
I get the remote majority of the time. I'll give her this. There's nothing on for me to watch anyway, so like I'm on the phone, whatever. But now it's over. Hard Knocks Tuesday night, in on it every Tuesday now.
When you get on the phone, is she like, Mikey, get off your phone. Like, watch this with me.
No, not really. She can't. She doesn't. She's on her phone all the time when I'm watching different stuff.
Yeah. We watching this together. Can you believe he said that?
No.
Wait, what? Oh, I got to rewind it. So it's 40
Like
minutes
Mikey goes to the
episode.
bathroom.
No, I asked her.
Mikey gets up. Hey, pause it real quick.
I asked her to rewind it for me. Hey, wait, what did he just say?
You just get the highlights. No,
Yeah.
this man's invested.
Oh,
Puts
yeah.
closed captions on.
He's watching.
Knows
He's
every
locked in.
character.
He's locked in. I can
Hey,
tell
he
you
won
that.
it. Cordell Beckham.
Hey, let's start it once I get out the shower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's Kendall on Love Island?
You got he's one of the dudes.
I thought it was a girl.
No, he got leaked today.
He got leaked.
All 4 is just
Man, come on.
Wait, what?
spreading that thing.
Hey, come on,
What?
bro.
Oh yeah, it's all over Twitter. I was like, Mikey's gonna know who I'm talking about. Ask Allie. She's
No, but that's just wild. That like, what a picture get leaked.
Yeah, that was a pose.
Would you rather that or
Oh, not
Oh,
that.
or the other one?
Ridiculous.
The other one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You saw the picture, didn't you?
Oh, so if you say something's leaked, I'm finding it. And I did.
Lloyd, you're a
I
terrible.
thought
Don't send it to me.
Oh, well.
No, don't send it to me. I don't want to see it.
This
All
man
right.
responded, "Oh, I will."
Speaking of that, perfect segue into our mistake of the day, brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place. Lloyd, what you got? That is a mistake of the day. Is you telling me about that?
Yeah, I couldn't play the video, or else that would have been it.
All right, don't do that.
But the
Bro,
mistake,
what?
in that same vein,
If you'd have played the video, I'd thrown this baseball right through your eyes.
Like, what?
not because of the stream, just because you'd had to see it.
No, because of the stream, and I had to see it. Go ahead.
Mistake of the day is the Olympic Committee thinking that they could stop. Everybody knows what goes on in the Olympic Village. They are very
He is so
friendly
on this right now.
with each other. It's one of the great parts of going every 4 years. You get to reconnect. Probably hope that somebody from another country that maybe you met 4 years ago, like this is it, we get to link up again. They have tried to sex-proof the beds
How?
by making
Lloyd,
them.
you tried to do this earlier, but keep going. This is not your first time. I remember.
Yes, but they made them like out of
Cardboard.
Cardboard,
Yeah, they did it last year.
and there is
I mean, last
This. Different
Olympics.
design this year.
yeah Rice McClinigan. I don't know what he does, but he is testing out the beds in his stay in the hotel room that they are in, and this is his attempt to make sure that they are. He proves that they are not sex-proof.
He says this.
Yeah, he does a little test.
Oh, he doesn't say sex proof. He's
No.
just
I mean,
so he's standing on it. It's pretty sturdy right now.
good.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that whatever they tried to accomplish, they. I mean, this is what Olympians can just do, though. They're like, he's just cutting front hamstring.
What does this dude do? What is
I don't know.
He's got to be like a gymnast or something.
Yeah, but another fail for the Olympic Committee trying to.
You
think
think
that's
that's what
some
they try to
springs in
do? I don't think that's what they try to do.
Well, they would give them. You would imagine they would give the athletes the best, most comfortable thing.
Yeah, but that has
has
nothing to do with what you said. I mean, you would. That has nothing to do with what you said. That's not why they're giving them cardboard
That's
boxes.
why they did it.
They came out and said that.
Yes, that's the literal reason. And
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
that.
rampant.
I mean, I know that part is, but I didn't know that they actually came out and
Tried to have a deterrent.
God damn it!
Twice.
You get them all flustered.
Twice.
They're
I
called-
didn't know that they were trying. Okay.
And it's in Paris.
I didn't know that.
I mean, it's the country of
Yeah,
love.
romance.
Yeah. Eiffel Tower.
This is
Whoa, dude.
ridiculous.
They have the Eiffel Tower in Paris,
Whoa, dude.
France.
Bro, you are out of
You were too much. All right, so that's mistake of the day. Brought to you
are-
by our friends at Dozy
You
Place.
are off
Y'all
the
said that.
hinges.
I mean,
Curtain call. Brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
Yeah.
Me.
Not Lloyd.
What we got?
I have a curtain call. The curtain call goes to another Olympian who Ronnie lauded it. He was given the option. He had
He dropped
he
it?
broke the tip of his finger, and he wouldn't be able to play in the Olympics if he opted for surgery to fix his finger. And the injury is gruesome. So, but he had the opportunity to
cut it
amputate
off.
it, and that is what he decided to do. So he has cut the tip of his finger
And
off.
what
Was this-
sport does he
what
play?
did
He plays field hockey. And
Damn,
so
that's
it was
commitment.
either,
That's commitment to your country.
I think they were silver medalists in the previous Olympic Games, and he was like, I want to go for gold, so I can still play if I amputate my finger. He opted for that route. So curtain call to this man, Matt Dawson, to be able to compete in Paris.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yep.
That's
got one?
impressive. Yeah, I got one. As a child, I spent a lot of time playing MLB The Show growing up. Even through college, played a lot of time of MLB The Show. So it's pretty cool over the weekend seeing three guys. Obviously, there was four very notable, if you will, Hall of Fame inductees. But you got Jim Leland, who was obviously a longtime manager and
It's all part of it.
someone we've talked a lot about in the past.
It's all part of it.
Right? As a manager, he inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then you got Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, and maybe the greatest high school athlete, three-sport high school athlete that no one talks about, in Joe Mauer. All three of those guys were all Hall of Fame inductees, and it makes me feel old now because I remember them in the absolute prime
Yeah.
of their careers. And, like, I was not a very young in the absolute prime of their careers, and now they are Hall of Famers. So shout out to them. Couldn't call it them. Damn, we getting old.
Todd Helton, backup quarterback to Peyton Manning.
There you go.
Pretty cool. Joe Mauer, forced 5-star quarterback coming out of high school.
Never or one time struck out in high school, I believe.
I think he struck out one time.
Because the guy who struck him out came
Came
out.
to his retirement. Throughout his retirement. Not retirement, I'm sorry. Like
jersey.
last game.
Yeah. His retired jersey retirement.
No, oh, that's where he was at. He was at a jersey.
Yeah,
retirement.
jersey
Yeah.
retirement.
Yep.
He committed to Florida State. He was signed with Florida State out of high school. Does not go. From Minnesota. Played for Minnesota. Hall of Fame, great career. Yeah, it's a good squad right there. It's very worthy. Todd Helton, dude, sweet, all doubles, dude. Everything he hit was a double.
The guy lived on the barrel, bro.
Yeah, he did. And Belche is, hitting home runs off his knee.
Off
Yeah.
the knee.
Funny guy.
The godfather of off the knee.
Yeah. So shout out to them. Good curtain
Think
call.
Elvis Andrus went, touched his head.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was Big Poppy touched his head in the Hall of
Did
Fame
he?
introduction.
Yeah.
Snuck out and did it.
Did he freak out?
You just kind of like turned
Yeah.
back and looked at him.
You know him.
Yeah. It was good. My curtain call was, I mentioned it earlier, with the Olympics on Friday, and with opening ceremony starting on Friday. Shout out to LeBron and NBA basketball and the Olympic athletes who voted LeBron as the athlete to bring the flag out. First time in the history of the NBA that an NBA player has done that. A huge honor for LeBron. I think that's something he's gonna remember for the rest of his life. Like, it's something he's only gonna do one time, right? Like,
He might
you
want to
imagine
play
he's
it
not gonna play in the next Olympics. I think he's already said that.
in America.
Pretty cool, and especially with what's going on around America right now, it's nice to have some pride.
Unity.
Yep. So shout out to them. All right, that's all we got for you today. We'll be back live in studio on Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. It's Ask Mikie and Mitch Day. We will have hopefully some other guests come in, hang out with us. The studio is becoming more accessible, and we're gonna have, we're getting close to making it ours, which we're very happy about. We appreciate you sticking with us. We'll be back live on Wednesday. We appreciate the love. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you don't like to watch us, but you like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods, tune in on Wednesday. We'll find out what happened. LSU Alabama game. Lloyd's.
Oh yeah, dynasty
First
continues.
season.
Jay Johnson, head coach. I got some coach points. Got to spend.
He put Jay Johnson as the head coach for football.
Hey, you gotta send him a picture of it tonight.
Yeah. Only if we win the Natty. It'd be the first coach to win a Natty in 2 sports.
Send him a picture of him holding up and says Jay Johnson on it.
FaceTime with him as you're playing. So
Yeah.
you can see it.
I mean, he was a football guy. Averaged 10 yards a carry in high school.
Yeah. Little scat back.
I think he was a hard-nosed runner.
No, he was
Daddy,
dust,
Dad
baby.
was the coach. You ain't getting those. You're not. No.
Hey, cloud of
You hitting
dust.
the hole. 42 power right here.
right off the left cheek.
Wing
Right
tee.
right there.
Wing T.
That's what we
Katie in
ran.
high school. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. See you on Wednesday.
Big game.
Peace. Good luck.
Over under probably
You
10
about to
quits.
get work, son.
Yeah, about
10 quits, you think?
You better get work.
I don't know. It's between Perk and Milrow. Battle of the Titans.
We're about to dominate you, son.
No. It's in Tiger Stadium.
That don't matter. You gonna cheat anyway.
I am going to cheat.